guys, it's Sam here. How you guys doing today? Today I'm going to be reacting to the new Hampshire 301. About to start right now. I think we got a lap and a half to go until the green. So that's good.
Ford onboard camera starting 9th, number 2 of Brad Keselowski. Kevin Harvick also carrying a camera for us. He will start 8th today. Joey Logano has the Coca-Cola onboard camera, row 3. And starting in the third row, 5th with the Sprint onboard camera is Denny Hamlin. There's Kevin. We'll have the camera on board. We'll be able to take a look at the vantage point from Kevin Harvick. As I mentioned earlier, the last 3 races he has been passed for the lead late in the race, which I'm sure he's not happy about, and we want to change that. We'll have another vantage point for today's race. Our aerial coverage provided by our partners at Smithfield Foods. That's a great shot of the congestion as the drivers funnel into turn number 1. It will definitely be crazy on restarts here. We take a look at the race analysis. 301 laps. The track a little over a mile, so it's 318.46 miles. Pit road speed 45 miles per hour. In the fuel window, speed of 80 to 85 laps.
I'm not even sure we should have put that. While that's what we think these teams could go later in the race, I expect cars to try to run 85, maybe up to 90 laps with enough caution to give themselves a position to win the race.
Okay, here we go.
Early race.
Race car left pull off.
There's a little bit of rain that went through the area over the evening and in the early morning hours, so they're going to give a competition caution to the drivers at lap 35. Field now in the hands of Jimmy Johnson as they come out of turn number 4. He's alongside Kyle Busch. Crowds on their feet. Racing into the field.
Chase Elliott immediately for the move. I'm guessing we're going to see our first caution at lap 3. So I'm going to film for you guys until then.
We saw the outside line work the best on starts and restarts. Will Jimmy Johnson be able to hang on?
Oh, actually, I remember back in 2011, at this race in 2011, Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch had an issue where Jimmy Johnson put Kyle Busch into the wall. I was actually there at that race. I was sitting in turn 3. So it really upset me. So them two together right here just reminds me of that. I was sitting like right there.
Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, 1, 2, 3. Martin Truex Jr., the 78 now 4. Here comes a pass for the win.
Oh,
Kyle Busch to the inside early.
Lap 3. This is where I predicted the first caution would happen.
Kyle Busch taking away the top spot from Jimmy Johnson. Kurt Busch following right behind. Now Jimmy Johnson looking low. Left side tires all the way down on the yellow line.
Remember that yellow line, that's the bottom of the racetrack, but the groove is just above that white line. Those dotted white lines are on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where the most bacon is. When you see a car like Denny Hamlin down there against the yellow line, there's much less bacon to hold the car, much less grip there. Well, the competitors know that. That's why you saw Jimmy Johnson at an original start leave the room for the 18, but continue to keep the momentum in the middle line, forcing Kyle Busch to run that flatter groove.
Kyle Busch able to get back out in front of Jimmy Johnson with a great side-by-side battle at the start of the race. Now, Kurt Busch looking at the lower line as Chase Elliott looks to the inside of the 4 of Kevin Harvick.
See, the 4 car has a decision to make. How much room does he want to give Chase Elliott in the 24 car? You want to keep him down. You want to put his left side on that lower banking because it takes grip on his car. The danger of doing that is you expose yourself.
And earlier this morning we had rain in New Hampshire. So we're not supposed to get any rain until 6 p.m. So shortly after the rain, we'll get some rain.
2 degrees right up against the yellow line to 7 degrees all the way up against the wall. More than likely, we're not going to see anyone get close to the wall unless they've gotten out of it.
And if you get up there, the other thing you have to deal with is all the debris that comes off these tires. All that debris gets pushed up into higher lanes. So if you do get out of groove, it'll take you several laps to get your tires cleaned off. But you can see these guys, that's where you want to run. You're not on the bottom line. You want to be right in those hash marks. Denny Hamlin, a great move, good roll to the middle of the corner, able to get in position, get into the 3.
Logano, a Connecticut native, going to get his first Cup Series win at this track.
You see Kevin Harvick close over the bumper of the 22. Another thing that happens a lot at this racetrack, it's very, very hard for the driver to be consistent in his car, because you're talking only a couple of feet, if that much, maybe less than 2 feet from a good line to a poor line. So if you can't overtake the car in front of you, just continue to put the pressure on like Kevin Harvick is here. Every corner entry, be right on his bumper. Try to get Joey Logano to make a mistake entering the corner. You can see Joey right there. Joey's slow to the middle of the corner. He cannot carry speed like the 4-car right in the middle of the corner. The 4-car on a lot of racetracks, you can just turn left and get underneath him. But here, you can see when he turns left, now he's on that lower bank and it's hard to get your car to grip. So even though Kevin's faster through the middle, getting that position is more difficult in this racetrack, because that's why it's so hard to pass here. And by the way, that's why these guys are racing so hard. They know there's a competition caution coming in a little while. Track position is huge. You want to come on pit road with the best track position you can possibly have.
And Jeff, one of the most annoying things for the driver, a radio key that's stuck open somewhere. So Joey Logano is hearing noise from the racetrack. They can't find the open key. Every team member is checking his radio to see if it's on or if it's having a problem. So Joey Logano hearing an open mic somewhere from his pit box, they don't know where.
Not only is that distracting, Rick, but it also kills the communication line between the spotter and the crew chief. And while they're not in a big pack like Daytona or Talladega, it's very important for Joey Logano to know how close that car is behind him. Don't make Joey Logano look into his mirror at the end of every straightaway. That information can be vital to understand how hard you need to enter the corner.
You can imagine what Joey Logano is hearing right now. Imagine if you're driving in your car and somebody took a microphone, turned it on at this racetrack right now with 40 cars making 800 horsepower, all that noise, that's all he's hearing. It is aggravating. It's also disruptive to the ability to communicate, just like Steve talked about.
Only 9 laps into this one, and let's get some updates from pit road. Mark.
Rick, for a 6-time champion, Jimmy Johnson was unusually excited to win the pole position here at New Hampshire. Number one, it was his first career pole at New Hampshire. But he told me also, it's been a rough couple of months for us on the 48 team. But number two, we brought a brand new car here this weekend with new concepts and setup, new ideas in the chassis. And that was validating for us to be on the pole. Now we need to see if we can put it in victory lane at the end of the afternoon. Kelly.
Kurt Busch has been the model of consistency this year. He has 15 top 10 finishes, more than anybody else. But his crew chief, Tony Gibson, told me it's time to get back to victory lane. He said a win before the chase will give us confidence and good team morale. And we want to make sure we're at the top of our game when we get to the playoffs. We got to prove to the rest of this field that we can win on any given Sunday. If they do it today, it'll be Kurt's 4th win here at New Hampshire, Dave.
Kelly, Chase Elliott is a 20-year-old bachelor from Georgia, and yesterday all he wanted to talk about in practice was marriage. Easy, ladies. He was talking about how the entry to the corner matches the center and then marries to the exit of the corner. Best he's seen in a long time, and thinks that'll be to his advantage today. Mike?
Well, Dave, Carl Edwards qualified 13, but don't be deceived by that. After practice yesterday afternoon, he got out of the car and said that's about as happy as he's been with a race car all season long. His crew chief, Dave Rogers, confirmed this is the fewest changes they've made from the beginning of the weekend to the end of the weekend. Carl told me just before he buckled in today, his only concern is keeping up with the racetrack. Running 14th right now. Rick?
And just in front of his teammate Matt Kenseth, and right behind 21 of Ryan Blaney, rookie who's in contention for Rookie of the Year. He's running against Chase Elliott. There's Ryan Scott in that battle. Carl Edwards won the pole for both races last year. Started outside the top 12 for this one. Kyle Busch is out front. New England.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment.
I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's one pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness. I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be
feel like, are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
Let's go places.
And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand.
75 lyrics to share. Find a coat for every moment.
I do envision myself as a warrior, like a tiger. I want to really attack each skill.
It's just a test, and I get satisfaction from being tested.
I know that I have done everything I possibly could to prepare. When I get to that line, I just focus on what I have to do.
Everything's blocked out, and it's really you in that platform. We are Team USA.
NASCAR on NBC8 is brought to you by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and by Progressive. Stay on track with great rates at progressive.com. And there goes Martin Truex Jr. around Kurt Busch. That is for third. Kurt Busch is going to look to the inside after the pass is made. Get the latest NASCAR news, results, and highlights delivered straight to your inbox. Never miss a story. The last lap pass. Visit NASCAR.com/newsletter. Kyle Busch out front. It has been Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch, the only two that have led, and Brad Keselowski trying to work his way to the front, running ninth right now behind the 24 of Chase Elliott. After winning Daytona and Kentucky last week, looking to make it 3 in a row. Second wins for Brad Keselowski, which he's never done in his career. Kevin Harvick inching toward the front. We're closing in on the competition caution again. NASCAR is letting us know it'll be around at lap 35. How hard do you push tires, fuel, prior to that stop? That in this sport, we don't normally know when there's going to be a break in the action, but in this situation, we do. So as a crew chief, how do you plan for that?
Well, I think you have to be smart about it. You look at the 4 right here with an opportunity to pass the 41. So Rodney Chillis is trying to give that information to Kevin Harvick. You're 13 laps away from what we think a caution lap would be. Push hard, try to get that position, try to get the 4th. But if you have a gap out front or out back, you're not going to want to push so hard. Kevin Harvick, being normal Kevin Harvick, is already starting to work that top lane in 3 and 4. He's one of the first guys to go up there, Jeff. And then later in the race, he'll actually exit on the top lane as well. Yeah, that's right. Kevin Harvick, he pushes his groove better than anybody, sooner than everybody. And now he's even doing it in 1 and 2. I've seen him do a lot in 3 and 4, but he's actually moved the groove up in 1 and 2 as well. Watch this as he goes into turn 3. He enters like everybody else, but now he runs up the racetrack way higher than everybody else. But what that allows him to do is allows him to carry so much momentum on corner exit. It's probably harder for him now than it will be later in the race if the track rubbers up. But even this early in the race, he's making it work to get the pass done.
Able to get by the 41 of Kurt Busch. Here comes the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
You know, the race car driver that paid attention. Denny Hamlin going, well, that works for Kevin Harvick. I'll try up there on the racetrack, see if it works for my car. Let's see if he does it over here where Kevin actually made the pass. So enters low, gets up the racetrack. Now he should be able to throttle up harder than the 41. Didn't quite stay out as late as the 4-car did. And listen, it takes a lot of nerve to get up there because if you miss it by inches, you're in that tire debris and you're not turning and you're in the wall. So the danger in doing it is getting out of the groove too much. Now he's trying to bottom. So you ask the question, how hard do you run? Try to save tires. I think this is the answer. Run as hard as you can. You need track condition. You want to come on pit road. It's better coming on pit road 5th than it is 6th. Because on this next restart, it's going to be crazy. These restarts are crazy. Wow. There you go. There's a move to the outside.
Camera right on the bumper of the 11 of Denny Hamlin. We saw how close, again, speeds over 135 miles an hour average, upwards of 160 when they enter the corner. Turns 1 and 3. And Denny Hamlin makes that back.
So much trust in your competitor that you know the line he's going to run, when that competitor's going to live. Remember, at the end of these straightaways, when Denny Hamlin or the 41 of Kurt Busch decides to get on the brakes, it's abrupt. It's a major slowing of the automobile. So if you're running behind him and you just jump that by 5 or 10 feet, you're going to run that car over getting into the corner. And why is he running the high groove? What is the advantage in doing that? The advantage is that when you run that high groove on corner exit, you're not having to turn the steering wheel as hard. You're not putting as much pressure on the front tires, which also means the car is leaning straight. So as you accelerate, the weight is more evenly distributed to the rear wheels as well as the front tires because you're not having to turn the wheel and ask the car to do more than it really wants to do. That's why the outside line works. Steve, I'm going to give you nightmares. New Hampshire is every single time we go here, we talk about loose getting in the corner. This is loose getting in the corner. Watch the 24 car, gets in the corner. The only thing he can do, you can see the back of the car starts wiggling. The only thing he can do at that point is quick turn the steering wheel. If he turns the steering wheel, he's going to spin out. Loose in here. Once you get it, it's hard to get it gone, but it happens every single race.
And Rick, this is going to sound simple, but the corners start with corner entry. If your driver, as you see right here, Penske teammates side by side, the two, Brad Keselowski below, the 22 of Joey Logano. Joey lets the two go into the corner. If your driver can't get into the corner comfortably, use the amount of brake they want to use, then they can't position themselves to the middle of the corner. You know, handling issues on entry really contribute to issues throughout the whole rest of the corner.
You see, even though Brad Keselowski was able to get by that 24 car, he too
Starting to
very
cost him
loose.
about 5
He's
laps.
a lot of security. He's already gone down a couple of turns on the track bar inside the race.
I think Kyle Busch actually has the pit box closest to the exit because usually the pole sitter takes. No, he doesn't. Sorry. Usually the pole sitter takes that one. But Jimmy Johnson, who had the pole, usually just takes the one right at the entrance. But
Jr. has reeled in that 48 of Jimmy Johnson, looks to the inside. Can he make it
which
stick?
means that Kyle Busch could have gotten
Made as they're working their way through
the
3-4.
one closest to the exit.
Jimmy Johnson able to stay out front. Johnson trying to pinch that 78 down, not allowing him to get the gas as quickly as closing in on that competition caution. Once again, Martin Truex Jr. goes down.
This is some hard racing between these two.
Battle is where they pit on pit road.
That is a really big deal, Rick.
They've been
48
bumping
is a
into
pit
each
stall
other.
one, the pole sitter. The 78 is a pit stall two. So how they were running would have been good for both cars. The 48 would enter, and then the 78 would enter. Now you're gonna have the 78 pull into his pit stall two. Who's gonna come around him? But Jimmy Johnson. So I like the aggression out of Martin Truex Jr., but I'm not sure this was the best idea. I think perhaps Cole Pern might have reminded Martin Truex where he was on pit road, and it would have ended up better in competition yellow. But you can't tell a race car driver not to find another race car driver. You can't tell a race car driver much. But that's why they're so talented, because they're confident. They're a little bit stubborn. They're aggressive. You know, these competitors on the racetrack make NASCAR what it is. If you see Brad Keselowski coming up on the competition yellow, he doesn't care. If he can pass the 41, he's going to try to do it. See Kurt Busch now, he's up the racetrack. You know, the word gets out. You heard Marty talk about, hey, Harvick's doing what he always does. I promise you, drivers, teams, spotters, they study race tape. They go back and they evaluate what happened, just like we see in other sports. A lot of time is spent studying tape, watching what happened in races. And what Kevin Harvick is doing right now, he's done for several years here. He's kind of pioneered this move in my eyes. He's the one that
Starting around lap 35, the competition caution is about to come out.
And he makes it work one more time as he takes third away from Jimmy Johnson. Kevin Harvick up to third now. So with Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin. They're the top 5. The battle for 6 on the left side of your screen. Kurt Busch and Brad Keselowski.
I think they're waiting for everybody to cycle around the lap
to get by
35.
the 41, just hasn't been able to complete the pass. Comes out onto the front stretch this time, side by side, door to door.
Okay, there's the
The
caution.
drag race now to start finish line, and the caution comes out. That is the competition caution. We knew this one was coming, so now the strategy comes into play of who will take 2 tires, who will take 4 tires. Maybe somebody doesn't take tires. Maybe somebody doesn't come to pit road. You don't have to.
You don't, and you know, we're not quite halfway through a fuel run, and track position is key. You know, what we saw all weekend long, this is a new right-side tire that Goodyear brought, hoping to get a little bit more fall-off, forcing the competitors to need new tires. I'm not sure if it's done that. We saw in yesterday's race, in the Xfinity race, 2 tires still won the race with Kyle Busch. But already in this race, Jeff, I would say there's a little bit more of a wider group. We've seen more passing. We've seen the 4 of Kevin Harvick do it on the top of 3 and 4. Other cars helping that lower, flat, bottom group work. So while there might not be a ton of grip in new tires, it seems like the newer tires allow drivers to use a little bit more of the racetrack. Yeah, and that's really going to influence these restarts as well, because as they work that second groove, or third groove rather, now that entices the driver to make it 3 wide on this restart, because hey, I know there's grip in that second groove, and maybe I can make it 3 wide. So restarts are always great at this racetrack, and they'll continue to be today, I'm sure.
Toyota Camry picks up the lead car, and we see Josh Wise in the middle, and he's 2 laps down. Remember a week ago, the controversy on pit road. Martin Truex Jr. going by Kevin Harvick on pit road. It was a topic of emphasis during the drivers' meeting today. They assured drivers, we are watching this. You cannot pass a person on pit road on the left. So they will be watching that again.
Now, Rick, with this many cars in the lead lap, we still have, 34 cars in the lead lap, and most teams probably taking 2 tires. It's going to get very condensed on pit road, Dave.
And Steve, Chief Adam Stevens could not say enough times. Track position so critical today, so expect him to take fewer than 4 Goodyear tires, but a full load of Sunoco fuel, at least 1 can. He takes 2, Kelly.
Kevin Harvick has gained 5 positions.
Put his pit stop all the way back there.
He didn't expect it to fall off that
That was a horrible idea.
Sunoco fuel and an air pressure adjustment for the 4, Mike.
Martin Truex Jr. said his car shattered at the beginning
He's
of
not
the
as
run,
bad as
but he got better actually
yeah,
the
he's
longer
off
that they ran.
first.
It's going to be 2 tires.
But he also
for
came in
Truex,
first.
Jimmy Johnson, it's going to be 4 tires. Jack Canals told him we slowed down the longer we got. 4 tire change. He said the track bar adjustment inside the car did help them.
I never really got it, because it's like, it'd be the same amount of time you're coming in from there, you the first one done. So then you'll make your way all the way up here. It'd be the same amount of time. But I guess you can also get caught up in pit traffic too,
Of all the full-size half-ton pickups, it's got the most towing, the best payload, and the highest gas mileage. Plus no body front. And guess what? This is the safest F-150 ever built. The only pickup to pull the government's 5-star safety rating and earn an IIHS top safety pick. This is the F-150, and Ford F-Series is the undisputed truck leader for 39 straight years.
Half-price cheeseburgers at Sonic.
And everything we're saving is going right in this bad boy.
Doesn't sound like there's that much in there.
Where's all my money?
That's the ceramic pig you're yelling at.
Half-price cheeseburgers all day Thursday, July 21st. And get a free slush when you download the new Sonic app.
I believe I can fly.
We are believers. Trust is earned in the field, where a full day's work will always tell the truth. We believe in what we do and what we have done. Who are we? Number 1 in subcompact tractors, number 1 in compact excavators, and number 1 in diesel engines. We are Kubota. Black Swan Supply.
Celebrating 70 years of business. Hurt in a car wreck and got your money without our help, you probably got a lot less than you deserve. Even the insurance companies admit that most people get a lot more with you supported. If only you could start over. We're Alexander and Catalano. We work hard to get you a bigger check for your medical bills, lost wages, and your pain and suffering. And we can usually get it for you without making you go to court. Hurt in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters first. Because when we hand you a check, bigger is better. Call 1-800-LAW-33.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Ford, we go further so you can. And by Carboni. Are you ready?
Rick down here in the
Raj, one of the things the teams may have to hit today because of some of the damage that happens on the track is right behind me. This is a crash cart. This is from Joe Gibbs. And the idea is that have everything a team could need ready to go, like this minor adjustment hammer, everything from a hood. This one's from a camera, so you got the grill complete front clip. But also there's a generator on here that powers a welder, because at the simplest times you can just cut off the complete front end, get it going. They've got radiators, everything you need. Because Steve, you know how important having these parts on the ready is, right?
Yeah, you're going to need them, especially for these crazy restarts, Rick. This could be where we see some of the damage.
We hope not to. First restart of the day. Kyle Busch chose the inside line. Martin Truex Jr. was outside. Busch gets by, but here comes Denny Hamlin using the bottom of the racetrack. When I say bottom, the apron of the racetrack there to try to get by Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. able to surge ahead and hold on to second. Carl Edwards making a move on the bottom of the track also now.
Keselowski with an aggressive move to get Swift's car. We're trying to go with him on the apron. Well, right in front of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
Again, the 19 down on the apron, trying to make that low line work. Able to stay out in front of Tony Stewart. Now Keselowski on the inside. Really trying to hold his line and keep the 41 of Kurt Busch a little bit higher. Now he goes all the way down to the yellow line. Chase Elliott following and learning his first Cup Series start out of New Hampshire. 44 of Brian Scott will have to do a pass-through penalty. Two members over the wall last time they were on pit road. Just 7 drivers took 2 tires on that last stop. And normally when we say 2 tires, we reference the right side. But Steve, that's not always going to be the case today. They may be taking 2 tires just left sides.
Yeah, one thing that's very unique to the short tracks, especially here in Loudon, is the left rear tire wear. Remember, these sprint car cars have so much horsepower that they get that drive off the corner that Jeff Burton talks about. As you see Kurt Busch inside his teammate of Tony Stewart, and right behind them, Brad Keselowski trying to pass Chase Elliott. To complete this pass, Brad Keselowski really going to have to abuse that left rear tire, really put the power down. As you see Chase is abusing his left rear as well, getting loose. So as they abuse that left rear tire, it'll wear out. That'll force these crew chiefs, if you only want to change 2 tires, you may have to change the left sides.
Depending upon when the cautions fly, that will determine the amount of fuel also that they have to put in. And sometimes they'll have to put in enough fuel that they couldn't change 4 tires because it's going to take that long to get all the fuel in.
We talk about pit strategies and all those kind of things. Think about the 19 car. All we've heard all week long is how fast the 19 is. They did not qualify very well. They were pretty far back in the field. He couldn't go anywhere. He could not get by people. The strategy of 2 tires gave him track position. And then on these restarts, he used that track position to get himself up to 4. So that's why you do 2 tires. You get yourself the track position, but then the driver has got to take advantage of it and have great restarts.
And that's exactly what Brad Keselowski just did. Took advantage and was able to get by Tony Stewart.
To be honest with you, really surprised we only saw 7 teams on the lead lap take right side tires. I think that is nowhere near aggressive enough. I don't think the crew chiefs are respecting the track position. Really all eyes are on this 2 of Brad Keselowski, because he's really the first car with 4 tires making a move back towards the front. But we're already, a few laps into this run. As laps go by, he's all the way up to 7th, but where could he be on right side tires? If Brad Keselowski can't drive into the top 3, I can expect more crew chiefs to be making notes and only taking right or left side tires later in the race.
And Steve, you've been in this position before. My local school chief told him, hey, you're going to be the first guy with 4 tires, you and Jimmy Johnson. Take advantage of those guys because they will not handle as well as you. There's a window, isn't there, Steve? You want your driver to be very aggressive if he's one of those first cars on 4 tires.
Yeah, there's a window, but this is working for Brad Keselowski at 7th. But how about Jimmy Johnson, the other car on 4 tires? Well, he's mired all the way back in the 11th position. Those 4 fresh tires are not helping him go forward at all. He had trouble in the restart, was in the non-preferred line going through turns 1 and 2, and just continued to lose positions, and now is getting run down by the 4 of Kevin Harvick.
This is a very difficult call because historically at this racetrack in the last 4 or 5 years, you put 2 tires on pretty much every stop. This is a softer right side tire that gives you a rub. If you think about the year at home, the tires that have been brought fall off more than what it was in the past. I think a lot of teams were assuming that was going to happen. But what we're seeing right now, so far, that's not the case. So teams are going to have to adjust their strategy. Now, the teams that look good, if this goes wrong, maybe they do 4 into the next caution, other guys can do 2, and it equals out. But you have to stay aggressive because pit strategy and track position matters so much here.
And right now, teammates fighting for the position. Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski, the 32-year-old out of Rochester Hills, Michigan, has already won a championship. Joey Logano still searching for his first championship in the Sprint Cup Series. And right now, searching for the same track position. 2 tires versus 4 tires in this battle. Joey Logano, 2 tires. Brad Keselowski, 4 tires. As far as the change on pit road last time.
More than that, I think we're seeing the better of the 2 pesky cars, even in the first 35 laps. The 2 of Brad Keselowski gets a little bit more pace than the 22. Joey Logano wisely lets his teammate go. You know, fight for the position when you came side by side is not where 2 teammates need to be entering first position.
One driver who has been able to sweep a weekend more than anyone else is the 18 of Kyle Busch, who was able to win the Xfinity race yesterday, trying to finish the sweep today.
Ram trucks are built to work, to play, tow,
working,
and haul. They're built to get the job done and go the distance. Ram trucks are built to be America's longest lasting pickups.
Get 0%.
Audio? Any audio? You just interrupted commercial and came back here, no audio?
My office, they call me boss man. Scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm Water Cooler Dale. Man, we got those tiny trash cans in our offices. Somebody keeps putting their lunch in mine. What? Every day. It smells like mac and cheese.
Oh,
Lobster mac and cheese, maybe?
so weird.
Y'all see who it is?
No.
For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Just like pit crews help race cars win on the track, STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner can help your car win on the street. It's formulated to help remove power-robbing deposits from the entire fuel system. Go with a winner. Go with STP.
Here's how it feels to have America's fastest LTE network. Here's how it feels to get 50% off most national carrier rates, too. So imagine how it feels to switch to Sprint and buy an iPhone 6S and get another one free when you add a second line. Plus, try us out for 30 days. If you're not satisfied, we'll refund your money.
As the favorite show they're in, the true stars of the race, large. The road to Rio continues tomorrow morning with the Tour de France on NBCSN.
Keeping your friends close and your teammates even closer. That's life at the speed of F1, the Hungarian Grand Prix, next Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBCSN.
As we take a look at the laps led this weekend, presented by Sprint, Kyle Busch already has led 245 laps this weekend, and that number continues to grow as he's out front here in Loudon, New Hampshire. Sprint's network reliability now within 1% of Verizon. Switch today and save 50% on most Verizon global rates with the Sprint store or sprint.com/network today. You know, you can watch every Sprint Cup Series race with the NBC Sports app. Get closer with additional camera angles, driver stats, and track information. It's available on mobile, tablet, and connected TV. Download the app and find out more at NBCSports.com/live. Kevin Harvick all over the back over now. 22 of Joey Logano. We had mentioned that the 2 of Brad Keselowski, probably the better car right now for Team Penske. Kevin Harvick has now reeled into 22, trying to get by Joey Logano as well. That's a fight for the 8th position.
Joey's car just looks like to me it does not rotate the center of the motor right there. It just doesn't turn very well. You hear the 4-car Kevin Harvick, and then he messed with the throttle, went through it, had to come back off, went through it again. You know, sometimes you're just trying to get position. Like, he knows he's throttling the car up more than it can really take in the corner, but he's trying to position his car next to the 22 to exhibit to Joey Logano, hey, this is my spot. Even though it's third his overall lap time, sometimes it's just showing to that driver, hey, look, this is my spot, I'm quicker than you. And that's when that throttle was in and out of the throttle.
Harvick has the 8th spot now, Kelly.
Working his way back up through the field after they lost some position due to a slow pit stop last time down pit road. Listen to the radio.
Yeah, that's something going on with the rear gun was taking on that problem. And he'll get it fixed up here.
So you could hear crew chief Rodney Childers explaining that the gun wasn't working, taking the lug nuts off, but they figured out what that issue was with the rear tire changer's gun. They're fixed it, and they're going to still use that same gun next time it comes to the road.
You can almost hear the frustration down in Rodney Childers' voice. You know, you have 95 slow there in the apron at 1 and 2. You know, pit stops are difficult enough, and then you have an equipment issue. When all the players play correctly and the equipment is the problem, it's even more frustrating.
Yeah,
Okay, don't look at it, make sure it's not a foul or something stupid.
I think, too, that, you know, this team has not had the best pit stops on pit road. Right. I think, you know, at some point, it just, you know, it seems like there's always something. They've got by with it, but I just, they've got to find a way to get more consistent on their pit stops. They're not horrible, but they just aren't where, say, the Gibbs cars are. They just got to find a way to be a little better.
The biggest story of the weekend is Dale Earnhardt Jr. not here, subbing for him, Alex Bowman. Mike.
And Rick, it surprised so many people, including the crew chief, Greg Ives. I spoke with him this morning, and he said, well, they were lucky they did not have to change much on the race car. In fact, he's using the same seat that Dale Earnhardt Jr. uses. Right now, he just lost the spot on the racetrack, but otherwise he feels like he's pretty comfortable behind the wheel. As for Ives, though, he said the biggest thing is communication. And Steve, you can probably identify with this. He said he has to assume that Alex doesn't know anything. That's quite different than working with a veteran driver like he's used to.
I mean, yes, because you don't want to overlook some of the simple things that you maybe take for granted. That not only a veteran driver, but a veteran driver in your own equipment. So where the switches are, whether you run 1 or 2 batteries, how you adjust the brake bias, how you communicate what level looseness. Is it on a 5 scale or a 10 scale? You have to be very methodical when you communicate. That is always the issue that seems to like to race. See the numbers on the left side of your screen. Chase bubble. The line is right below the 88 right now. He is right on that line as far as 16 points. Came into this race 32 points above that cut line. Now only 10 points. And again, it's going to move based upon the guys that he's racing against. Dale Earnhardt Jr. not here, so he's not going to gain any points. It's just how well the other drivers do.
Yeah, I know we talked about it in the countdown to green, but, you know, again, I just don't think he said enough. Dale Jr. knows the situation that this team is in. Dale Jr. wants to be in the chase and contend for a championship as much as anybody in this series and anybody on that team, but he'll have the courage to step up and say, you know what, I'm not feeling right. Let's go figure this out. He knew he was exposing himself for not being in this race this weekend, and, you know, it's leading by example. You know, everybody in the country knows about this. Not just racers, but soccer players, baseball players, adults and kids. Leading by example for the young team.
Alex Bowman trying to take advantage of an opportunity. Currently running 20th. Great opportunity to be in great equipment and just in front of Greg Biffle right now. Veteran of the sport, just behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
And we talked about the veterans moving up the racetrack and trying different grooves. And you're going to see Matt Kenseth, he's a guy that's experienced and he's been moving forward for sure. But it's hard for Alex Bowman to do that. You know, he needs to run the normal groove where you normally see people run. Because if you're a rookie driver, you make a mistake. If Matt Kenseth makes a mistake, he's fast, he's moving forward. If Matt Kenseth makes a mistake, hey, it's Matt Kenseth. You know, he's a champion, he's won all these races, it's okay. But when you're a rookie and make a mistake, the pressure's on top.
Well, and also, when a rookie gets inside you, everyone knows that's not Dale Earnhardt Jr. the race car, including his competitors. So when you see the 88 dive inside, you might be testing for the corner, but they're not. Matt Kenseth, he came in, put 4 tires on at the top of the caution. He restarted in the 14th position, has driven all the way up to the 6th position, and has run down. You see right in front of him is the 2 of Brad Keselowski. A few tenths of a second in front of Keselowski is the 19 of Carl Edwards. So
while the 20 hasn't been leading laps yet, he looks to be like one of the better cars on the racetrack. Big. And that wasn't the case in the first run. Anybody who goes camping knows if the bear gets his nose in the tent, you get the whole bear. Well, Matt knows that's how you pass here in New Hampshire as well. He said, I can get the nose in there, but I can't keep it in there to complete the pass. They made a 4-tire stop and changes, and he says it's 100% better this run. The bear is moving forward.
And I believe it's a grizzly, by the way there, Dave, as Kyle Busch continues to lead. Matt Kenseth, his teammate, chasing him down.
Oh, hey, Jamie. Can you hand back a sec? Want to tell me about the boy in this painting?
I don't know. Maybe nobody understands him.
Well, if he were here, I'd say that being different is what makes him special. Just like our discounts. Each one is unique, but together, they help save our customers a lot of money.
Okay.
Pop quiz, who's my favorite student?
Gwen?
Yeah, Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen's the best.
I'm not just a race car driver. I'm a husband, a father, heck, I'm even a farmer. That's a lot of hats to wear and a lot of responsibilities to juggle. That's why I make 5-hour energy shots part of my day. They help me cross the finish line no matter what I'm racing to get done. Yeah, it's a hectic life, but that's just the way I like it. Now is the time for 5-hour energy. You and I.
My brother and I have always been rivals. We would dream about racing each other. In Monaco.
And you will always by my side.
Competition made us friends. Wishbold in a 2017 Camry. Toyota, let's go places. Before you open your eyes, at Smithfield, we're busy slow smoking. Before you sizzle, we hand select and hand trim. Before you were born, we gave birth to flavor, which you'll find in every bite of our naturally delicious hickory smoked bacon. Flavor hails from Smithfield. The first snap, the first tackle, the first touchdown, your first look starts here. Get back to football with every preseason game, including 16 live, starting August 11th, only on NFL Network.
You know what sounds better than me? Prime rib for $13.99. Slice of the dinner's prime rib, new coconut shrimp, and teriyaki sirloin. Dinner's $13.99. Only at Golden Corral.
NASCAR Race View gives you access to features that let you follow your favorite driver as if you're at the track. Live stats, leaderboards, driver, and communications for all onboard devices. It's available now at all new low price. You can visit NASCAR.com/raceview. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire 301. Marty.
Rick, Jimmy Johnson seems to be kind of stuck in the 10th position, and because they qualified on the pole, they have the #1 pit stall here at New Hampshire. That gives Chad Canals a very unique on the race. He's pretty much sitting high above the racetrack at the entrance to turn 1, and he noticed something on the 48 car that he wanted to tell Jimmy about. Here it is.
Just a little note here, Jimmy. Nobody ahead of you in the 24 has your left front brake rotors flowing. Looks like you in the 24 gets a lot more brake momentum ahead of us.
After that little tip from Chad Canals, so you see on the left-hand side of your screen, he radioed to Jimmy about 6 laps later. He said, now that, those are the most competitive laps you run the entire day. Jeff, it's hard to imagine these speeds are about 160 miles an hour going into the corner. It's tough not to use a lot of brake in New Hampshire, but it's also a trap for these drivers as well. You got to be very careful about the amount of brake you use, don't you?
Marty, great opportunity for us to take a look at our NASCAR Heat Evolution animation talking about brake heat.
Well, it's not just up to the driver on how much brake cooling you're going to have and how much you use the pedal, but the crew chief as well. So you see the air going in the front grill screen of the car. Well, that goes into these hoses that feed the brakes. You have more air at the brakes, keeps them cool. Well, the crew chiefs have the opportunity to either tape off the nose or perhaps even completely remove a hose.
When you remove that hose or put more tape on it, now you have less air going to it, and now see how much hotter the rotor is, and that hot air is coming out, it's getting into the wheel. So it's a real balance between
having the brake cooling like you want it for the brakes and like you want it for the driver. The driver wants to use the brakes as hard as he can, but you can put too much heat in the rotor, and that blows the tire up, the air pressure up, it starts to make the handling worse.
So why would you just not run all the air possible, Rick? Because every bit of tape you can add, every hose you remove, that's more front downforce. And even here at a flat 1 mile racetrack, downforce is helping these cars get through the middle of the corner.
Yeah, people say, well, you're not going fast enough for downforce to matter. I promise you, you're going that fast enough for downforce to matter. You have to get, when you're racing against these competitors, you have to be on the edge in every single department.
Yeah, between 1 and 2, almost non-existent now. As Kyle Busch has Martin Truex Jr. all over the back bumper. It's Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards. If that sounds familiar, all of those drivers, 4 of them run for Joe Gibbs Racing. The other has an affiliation with Joe Gibbs Racing. The top 5 right now, as I say that, Carl Edwards gets passed by Kevin Harvick, but in the top 6, 5 of the top 6, all affiliated with Joe Gibbs Racing. They have been dominant at this racetrack.
Last weekend, Cole Byrne told me that this was the most important race week of the team. He told me, this is our weakest chase racetrack. We have to come here and make improvements. Saturday in practice, they did not make those improvements. Martin Truex Jr. described the car as terrible. He said it would drive. I have no idea what we're going to have today. Well, the setup they put underneath that 78 car, the setup from the 19 car, Carl Edwards, they bought in on the whole thing. Every shock, every spring, everything they've ever done on that 19 car is here on the 78 cars. Cole Byrne told me it's way different than anything we've ever run before. I have no idea how it's going to perform. I would say it's performing pretty well. And Steve talked about that. That's a big risk sometimes for a crew chief to completely go with a setup you've never even put under the race car before.
Marty, it is a huge risk to put something new under the race car, but it's also a huge strain to a relationship when a teammate takes your information and outruns you with it. And that's what Martin Truex is currently doing, running in the 2nd position when you look at Carl Edwards back in the 7th position. So I appreciate the teams working together, that Furniture Row Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing, and they've proven they know how to do it. They did it all the way through the Daytona 500. We've seen it all year so far, but the chase is coming, and it'll be interesting to see how well those relationships work when the championship is on the line.
Steve, Carl Edwards is a good update. And as we told the audience at the top of the show, he's pretty happy with the balance and the speed of the car in race trip. Still feels the same. His biggest concern was keeping up with the track as the weather changed. And right now, he just said he's a little bit better in the shade than he is in the sun. But other than that, he feels pretty good. The only other thing he wants to know is where people are meeting him. They're matching his lineup with the 2s, and has told him that Keselowski is running a much tighter line, and he's trying to mimic that.
The battle for the lead really heating up now, as Kyle Busch having a hard time getting by the 83 of Matt Benedetto. And while he's struggling to get by the 83, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. continues to watch to see where can I get by the 18.
He's the left car, but look at these two guys.
Denny Hamlin behind the 78 is watching both of these cars kind of coming in the picture as well, Rick.
Just let him go. You're a lap car. You have nothing left to lose.
Bad an 83 car. No, he's a slower car. He's a car that does not have the pace to win this race. But look how many laps it's taken to get by him. That's why this track is so challenging. It's a 78, big move on the bottom.
Here comes Martin Truex Jr. Look to the inside as Kyle Busch was running a little bit higher. Martin Truex Jr. to the inside, but not able to make the pass. That's Benedetto now going by the 98 of Ryan Ellis. Ellis running up high. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. to the outside of the 18.
Oh my God, I'm not liking
Going
this.
into turn number 1.
But this is good racing though.
Side by side for the lead. Kyle Busch still holding on to it.
He's not giving up. It's 2 drivers refusing to lose. It's only lap 87.
Bottom of the track. Almost on the apron. They're riding along with the 11 of Denny Hamlin, who was on the apron. A 3-car fight now for the lead.
This is entertaining.
Benedetto pulling away from these 3 cars.
I think
because of them fighting for position, it allows Matt Benedetto to stay on his line, get everything perfect, and able to pull away.
He is driving away, so he does have pretty good speed in that race car right now. He's going to lose. He got off the corner, but again, the 11 car has to protect this one, but I'm sorry, the 18 car Busch, he has to protect just a little bit. The 78 has shown that he's faster, so the 18 can't just run the line that he really wants to run, because you can see the 78 keeps making these moves on him.
And I'm going to defend Benedetto. He has every right to race these leaders hard. We're not in the closing laps.
Oh,
There's 5 or 10 to go. As Martin Truex finally completes the last on Kyle Busch,
The plaques?
I would say the 83 should pull
Just
over
like the
and let these two
plaques.
race for the win.
Just the
But we're not.
plaques
We're letting
on
88
Kyle Busch.
has every right to fight to stay in the lead lap. He's supposed to fight to stay in the lead lap. That's his job. That's what the team expects him to do, and that's what he should do.
Now, see if Mark Truex Jr. can get by Matt Benedetto as Kyle Busch tucks into second. Denny Hamlin is third. Back behind Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Hart, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards has dropped all the way back to seventh. Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, and Jimmy Johnson, the top 10. Mark Truex Jr. worked for about 5 laps to get out front. Now he's trying to pull away.
Oh, it's on now. Joey out of nowhere. He's got it on the high side. Dude, you just put in the wall? We're gone, aren't we? How are you so much better than us? Hey, Kyle, is that NASCAR Heat Evolution? Wait, who's playing the game then? Pre-order now at NASCARHeat.com. Rated E for everyone. The Hardee's and Carl's Jr. $4 real deal. 2 sandwiches, small fries, and a drink.
Ram trucks are built to work, to play, tow, and haul. They're built to get the job done and go the distance. Ram trucks are built to be America's longest-lasting pickups.
Get 0% APR for 60 months or $82.50 in total values on select 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab models in dealer stock.
I've had a wonderful time tonight.
Me too.
Call me tomorrow?
I'm going to send a vague text in a couple days that leaves you confused about my level of interest.
I'll wait a full 2 days before responding.
Perfect. We're going to see each other again, will we?
No.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone said what they meant? The City Double Cash Card does. It lets you earn double cash back. 1% when you buy, and 1% as you pay. The City Double Cash Card. Double means double.
I really don't want you to see me like this.
You need some interest music. Alexa, play Alex Dance playlist.
Playing Alex playlist.
That's dance music. Alexa, play Pep Rally by Missy Elliott.
Really?
I got a little something for you.
It's beautiful. Does this mean I'm going to be in your next video?
Let me see what you got.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what, for money on my mind.
75 lyrics to share. Find a code for every moment.
Everybody hands up.
Keeping your friends close and your teammates even closer. That's life at the speed of F1, the Hungarian Grand Prix, next Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBCSN.
Today's aerial coverage provided by our partners at Smithfield Foods. Great look at Granite State's New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Mark Truex Jr. of the 19 races run has led in 12 of them by Sprint. Sprint's network reliability is now within 1%. Verizon switch today. Save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. Visit Sprint store or sprint.com/network today. Mark Truex Jr. now has led 9 laps. Kyle Busch led 86. Jimmy Johnson led 1. 3 drivers have been up front today. 1 caution, it was the competition caution. It came out on lap 35. And you see the 18 of Kyle Busch and the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Kenseth able to get by Busch and take that position.
Matt Kenseth, here comes Kevin Hart. He's making a move also. These 2 cars are running. They're coming to the front for sure. 2 fast on the racetrack. Fast cars on the racetrack for sure. Both of these cars have 4 tires. We run 60 laps since the pit stop. So perhaps those newer right side, or excuse me, those newer left side tires will start to pay off. Remember, Kyle Busch only changed right side tires. That left rear tire can be getting a little worn, hurting his drive off the corner.
Pit window for fuel, around 80 to 85 laps. mentioned it's been green flag laps since the caution came out. Only one caution today. As Kevin Harvick's going to try to get by Kyle Busch for the 4th spot. So it's Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, and now Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick fighting for that 4th position. And for Kevin Harvick, makes light work of Kyle Busch as he moves up another spot.
Talk about Kevin Harvick, he's working himself up, up the 4th position. When he did, he was running 3rd. That's right. Okay, you run it 3rd when you entered. It's taking this amount of time. The competition was lap 35. It's taking it this long to get back to 4th for one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. So we talk about track position and how important it is. If you lose that track position late in the race, you don't have enough time to recover from it. So it's taking 60 laps to get back. He hasn't got back where he was yet. The caution comes out.
As the 34 goes around, that's Chris Buescher. Doesn't look like any damage, but it does bring out the caution for the 2nd time. Now, crew chiefs will have to decide. Do we do a 2-tire stop? Does someone stay out? Do a 4-tire stop?
Certainly you have ear rings. You run 63 laps, it's the same pit stop, so you're going to need.
So the caution is out for David.
No,
that's not David. That's Chris Buescher.
To put that fuel in would make it more advantageous to take 4 tires. You're going to have to take more time.
I know, he almost hit that other guy.
Had a little trouble getting to pit road.
You know what he was doing? He didn't want to cross that commitment code. So that box coming onto pit road, he didn't want to cross it. So he was trying to go around it. But he's coming off turn 2.
That's why the caution came out. In front of him, the 30 looked to be smoking.
30 may have gotten in the wall leaving turn 2.
He's spun out.
30 of Josh Wise looked to be smoking right in front of Chris Buescher. Could have maybe either got the wall or put some fluid down just in front of Buescher. And so Buescher went around. But as you mentioned, he had to avoid that commitment line. When the caution comes out, they close pit road. Pit road now open. There's 2 cars on there, and we go to Dave.
One run for Matt Kenseth all the way up to 3rd, a little loose, in and out of the corner. He'll take an air pressure adjustment and 4 Goodyear tires, Kelly.
But Harvick said he's not as loose on entry and exit as he was first time around. It's going to be 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, and Hammer in a wedge out of the right rear main wall for Denny Hamlin. He says he's tight off center on 3 and 4 and tight on initial throttle 2 times. Last time down pit road 4 times for the 11 this time, Marty.
Here's a few words on the radio from Martin Truex Jr.
Okay,
other than say we're better the longer we run. Cole Burns, let's take 4 and see when we come out here. They're going to come out in the lead, Rick. 4 tires, Truex in the lead.
And the top cars coming off the pit road, all taking 4 tires. Spots being made out by Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick.
People know me as the Ellen Hart Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. I'm also an animal lover. To my animals, I'm a whisperer. Yes. Hey, sit. Where are you going? I know one that'll listen to me. Old Juma. Juma. Hey.
I'm going to black it out too. Okay?
Well, there's 2 I can always count on. That's Laverne and Vera.
I am the way to the city of woe. I am the way
to
a
you
more
can see we're
sacred
making
people.
some progress.
I am
We're
the
protecting
way
my pets and more. Nationwide is on your side.
Sacred justice moves my heart to protect. I was raised here by divine protection. Primordial love and
The Ford Freedom Sales event is on, and 0 for 72 is back on 2016 Ford Focus, Fusion, and Escape. Plus, specially tagged vehicles get an extra 1,000 smart bonus. That means freedom from interest and freedom to choose. With Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now get 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, specially tagged vehicles get 1,000 smart bonus. Only at the Ford Freedom Sales event.
This is the place. The place where you can forget all about work for a while. And celebrate the good old U.S. of A. And take in the best bumper-banging, fist-waving, hero-making short-track race of the year. The Advanced Pro Shops NRA Night Race. It's America's Night Race. Be there August 20th because it ain't just another race. It's Bristol, baby.
Hey, New York.
We're just coming here
Each month we give you new reasons to come visit the Davidson family dealership. And this month, we've got three. Introducing the Triple Play Sales Event only at Davidson and Brown.
New 2016 Silverados as low as $379 per month, or 2016 Malibus as low as $299 per month, and new cruisers as low as $269 per month.
Yeah, I saw the video. I know
At
what you're
Davidson,
doing, dude.
every deal is the way. We'll give you something to cheer about at Davidson and Brown.
All
Nice
right,
people
back
to do
up,
business with.
back up. All right.
In the market
Let's
for
come
a
out
new
there and
vehicle,
fucking
come
calm
to the
down.
Hyundai headquarters. Lease the all-new 2017 Elantra for just $179 a month, or a new 2016 Sonata for only $199.
And
both leases are $0 down, and that includes 8% sales tax and DMV. And as always, every new Hyundai Elantra comes with America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Hurry, offers end August 1st, so visit BurdickHyundai.com or come see us at Burdick Hyundai in Drivers Village, Cicero, Go Hyundai, Go Burdick.
I'm stealing some from technically our combined audience. So if you want to look like a fucking jackass, you be my guest.
NBCSN is brought to you
But
by
I'd set that shit down.
Nationwide. Nationwide, on your side. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
People are going to hate you for this.
Shoulder caution laps.
I saw you took both of them, but I saw you had the Xbox One too. You don't even like Xbox.
Hey, I'm Paul. I used to ask if you could hear me now, Verizon. Not anymore. I'm with Sprint now. Because guess what? It's 2016 and every network is great. In fact, Sprint's reliability is now within 1% of Verizon. And Sprint saves you 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates. So I switched to Sprint, and millions more have too. Can you hear that?
Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much. Switch to Sprint today.
This is real buttermilk, where real biscuits come from. This is made from scratch.
The made from scratch bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with applewood smoked bacon. Get 2 for just $3.50 at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. Which one of these awards appeals most to you?
Top safety tech midsize car in a SUV.
Most dependable, please watch
The
now.
green car because I went to efficiency.
What if there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company, one award, all these?
But I'm just letting you know, we didn't touch it, and you can have it back.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years. Here, so just sum this car up in one word.
Incredible. Amazing. And it can't use one word.
When a moment turns romantic, why pause to take a pill?
I know this sounds fucking like blackmail,
Or
but it's
stop to
not.
find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of big itch, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy after sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss of hearing vision or any symptoms of allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card. Nobody can survive in that forest for 6 years, at least not alone.
Resilient. Disgusting.
Uncle Larry doesn't live here, but I have to live here, so.
You have no idea what this thing is capable of.
And I mean, it wasn't just voice. You know what this is about, right?
Dragon, rated PG. The first snap, the first tackle, the first touchdown. Your first look starts here. Get back to football with every preseason game, including 16 live, starting August 11th, only on NFL Network.
Let's get these out away from this water. Let's get it up here.
NASCAR Drive is NASCAR.com's live race day companion. Select your in-car video or camera angle access, integrated driver stats, lap-by-lap commentary, and social conversations in real time. You won't miss a lap. Visit NASCAR.com/drive on your personal computer now. Track position so very important, and when you lose spots on pit road, it makes it that much more difficult.
We had 3 losers on this pit stop. The 20 gets blocked in by the 15. Stopped a little long in his box. 15 stopped a little short in his box. He came in 3rd and went out 10th. Yeah, then you look at the 11 and Davey Hamlin came in 2nd, out 8. Trouble with the front tire and the rear tire coming around. Bottles up the crew, slowed down the pit stop. And the fun continues. The 4 car continues to have trouble.
received trouble on the right front, slow coming off. Remember, he came in fourth with a fast race car, and as you move around, watch the left rear. Car gets up in the air slow because of the right front problem. Troubles continue on the left rear. Another slow stop. So he came in fourth and 11th. So we took 3 top 5 cars and put them 10th, 8th, and 11th. Kelly?
Kevin Harvick's been to pit road twice and twice had issues. This time the tire got stuck in the wheel well on the left rear. Kevin is not happy about it.
Every time we have a good race car, we get up on pit road. Every time. You don't want to race like that. Once again.
On this morning, I talked to his crew chief, Rodney Childers, who told me they made some changes to their pit road crew a few weeks ago, and he said it seems to be paying off. We haven't had any hiccups or anything. Must have forgotten to knock on wood, because that's all they've had here today.
And Rick, when you have guys that have trouble on pit road, someone has to benefit. Jimmy Johnson, 10th to 5th, 12.5-second pit stop. More importantly, that #1 pit stall.
Okay, here we go.
The beginner of this round of pit stalls.
Big advantage. Row 1 up front. Mark Truex Jr. Kyle Busch.
Green flag back in the air.
Was looking to the inside of the 18. That's the 24 of Chase Elliott way up high this time on the restart.
Is that water on those ones?
Decided to use the apron all the way through 1 and 2. And now these teams that were put back in the back, they're forced to push really hard here, put themselves in situations they really didn't want to be in. If you're going to get the spots back, you have to be ultra aggressive.
Chase Elliott moves to the inside. Brad Keselowski trying to take that spot away. So impressive as a rookie this year has been Chase Elliott. Chase is 20 years old out of Dawsonville, Georgia, and taking over for retired Jeff Gordon. Makes the pass on the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Here comes Carl Edwards. Back to Brad Keselowski's vantage point. Jimmy Johnson, after a great stop, moved up into the top 10, like 6th now. Harvick, another one of the drivers that will have to fight back to get the positions that were lost on pit road, trying to get by Casey Kane. The Busch brothers, Kurt Busch trying to get by Kyle Busch. That's a pass for second. Kurt Busch now will hunt down the 78 of Mark Truex Jr.
41 continues to move forward. And Tinker did a great job on pit road, gained 4 or 5 spots on that last cycle, and the driver on the restarts continues to gain positions.
The pressure tires, seeing speeds upwards of 160 miles an hour as they will enter turns 1 and turn 3. But then they slow all the way down to about 110 miles an hour in the center of the turns.
And why do we need to put the minimum on these restarts and on these pit stops? Is because we're at lap 112. It's a 301 lap race. So you start digging a hole. We saw it took Kevin Harvick 60 laps to get within 1 position where he fitted at the first pit stop with the problem the first time. So now, if he takes another 60 laps, look how many laps you used up just to get back where you were. Not to mention, what if you gain spots on this thing? What if you came in and gained 2 spots versus losing spots? Think about the loss of those turns as well.
Another driver had an issue on pit road, Matt Kenseth, Dave.
Everything is blocked in. His crew chief, Jason Bradford, reminded him that the first 3 pit stalls are not active. Remember, the field has gone to 40 from 43 cars, and so these pit stalls are not active. He can only drive through 1 or 2 to get a good angle going out. He can drive through all these, and then just the 1 pit stall behind him, who is Chase Elliott. He wants to do that to get a better angle exiting than what he had last time.
So the advantage of being able to do that, you can enter pit road straighter. You don't have to leave pit wall, angle left, get into your pit box. It makes it difficult to position yourself, make the exit clean. If you can enter pit road straight and not drive too many pit boxes, remember, if you drive too many pit boxes, it's against the brake. So that allows him to enter straight and then turn right and angle as far in the position you can to get off pit road fast.
Great battle for 4th here. As Chase Elliott has it for Brad Keselowski. Looks like the car comes to him a little bit later in the run. Some of the other cars, and Brad Keselowski starting to surge toward the front.
It doesn't seem like maybe, you say later in the run, really just 3 or 4 laps of the tires they rim it. He did them on the restart, and he starts moving back forward. Although Chase Elliott's not going to give up a position easily. He knows that middle groove. He defends it. He's going to drive it on the outside of the 2, try to pin it down, and not let the 2 accelerate off the corner.
You may be noticing on some of the camera angles and vantage points on the left, there's a little bit of precipitation. It actually sprinkled a little bit. Now you can see it's full sun all the way around the racetrack, but that was changing some of the philosophy and strategy that some of these guys were looking at, because the radar showed it may sprinkle or rain a little bit. Some of these guys might have been thinking you might want to be racing to halfway.
Well, it also changes the track. We've heard all weekend long and all race long about crew chiefs and drivers trying to keep up with track conditions. This track can change between temperatures, when the sun's out, when the clouds are out, but also as the cars run on these long green flag runs, they put more rubber down, the track continues to get tighter in the middle.
48 of Jimmy Johnson trying to get by 24 Chase Elliott teammates. Once again, fighting for position.
What a great shot, showing this straight line. You can see Chase Elliott in that second line, the 48 in the bottom line. What a great shot.
How about the teammates behind him, Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards? Looked as though Edwards got a little bit loose, and Matt Kenseth going to take advantage of that. These three cars that you're seeing on the screen now, all Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. Just behind him, Jamie McMurray in the 1, and Kevin Harvick still trying to fight back from the issue on pit road.
See, you just try to not follow the car in front of you. 19 enters in one line, 11 enters in another. 4 to 1 split, one goes low, one goes high, and now he's working. Kevin Harvick is working inside Jamie McMurray and clears it into turn 3. How rough it is into turn 3. That view at the end of the backstretch, you see the car bounce entering the corner.
Jamie McMurray is 16th at the final spot on the chase grid right now. He's coming off a 7th place finish at Kentucky, just his 4th top 10 this season. His crew chief, Matt McCall, told me that was a really big race for him. It's helped build some confidence and has everyone on the team, including Jamie, feeling upbeat. Another reason for them to be upbeat. He's got a pretty good car. Jamie's saying it's not horrible. It's a little bit tight rolling through the center, but they made a wedge adjustment, which has helped him. And at one point, he had cracked the top 10, currently running 11th.
Jamie McMurray just one spot ahead of the cut line. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 88s now just 9 points in front of 17th. Jamie McMurray has Casey Kane behind him. Casey Kane, the other driver that's on that bubble, is actually in the 17th position.
What's so interesting about this chase is that we see every week that if you're back there 14th, 13th, 15th in points, you're racing each other. Because that's where you are in points, that's generally where you run. So this battle, making your way into the chase, you constantly have your competition with you. You can never let your guard down. Both these teams need strong finishes heading into Richmond.
And a great battle for second. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch. Kurt has it. Kyle's trying to take it away. And again, Kyle Busch, after starting up front, he's fallen back just a bit. And now he will go back ahead of his brother. So Kyle takes second back away, but the gap between Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. almost 3 seconds. That's how big of a lead Martin Truex Jr. has built over second place Kyle Busch. Very strong run once again for Martin Truex Jr. Not as dominant as we saw in Charlotte earlier this year, but still looking very strong at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Good.
Let's go places.
What do you want for lunch, honey? Could I have some KFC original recipe?
Excellent choice. But might I suggest something a little extra crispy? My extra crispy $5 fillet is freshly double printed by hand. It's a tasty real meal for just $5.
Am I an extra crispy boy?
Sure, kid. KFC. It's extra crispy good.
Blew the dog here for propane. You know, I'm just a humble dog. I didn't attend the elite boarding kennels, but I do know that nothing beats the freedom of living out here. With propane, people can live where they want and just as cozy as they want. Whether it's a hot bath, no thank you, a warm bedroom, or a perfectly grilled steak. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Proudly independent. Proudly American. Proudly propane.
Hey, man. You cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh, man.
We're good.
Here's how it feels to have America's fastest LTE network. Here's how it feels to get 50% off most national carrier rates, too. So imagine how it feels to switch to Sprint and buy an iPhone 6S and get another one free when you add a second line. Plus, try us out for 30 days. If you're not satisfied, we'll refund your money.
Welcome back to New Hampshire. Let's go down to the Toyota Camry on-track car.
Yeah, there's been so much conversation this week with Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s concussion-like symptoms about head injuries, and all this that you just saw circled, all this is a head surround system. The driver's helmet fits inside. It's thick foam. It's built to absorb the energy. It's made so that when you hit the wall or another car, it slows the impact down for the driver. We talk about G-forces and how you hit the wall. What really matters is obviously the number of G's, but how fast it takes for the accident to happen. If it slows down the amount of time that the head hits and absorbs the energy, that's how you help a driver not have head injury.
And you see right here on board Denny Hamlin, the right side right here, all of that foam against the right side of his helmet. Not only is it very thick, 4 or 5 inches thick, but it also comes probably 2/3 of the way forward on his helmet. Picture an impact as Denny Hamlin moves forward in the seat towards the steering wheel. There's still enough foam on the right side of his helmet that if he hits and then moves to the right, it'll protect his head. Not only the Hans can help fore and aft, but all of that foam on the right side will protect his head from left to right.
That's right, and remember that behind his helmet is the Hans system that sits on his shoulders and hooks to his helmet. So in a frontal impact, as his helmet moves forward toward the steering wheel, that Hans engages and slows that movement down to keep the head in relation to the body. The Hans works forward in a forward impact, and those surrounds work to help side impact.
And it's hard, Rick, because you have to get it protected, keep it low enough so the driver can see over it and get to the mirror. You know, they're really encapsulated for safety, but they also have to be able to see and move around as much as they need to drive one of these cars.
Jimmy Johnson running 7th right now in front of this pack. Carl Edwards just behind him. Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick. Harvick trying to rebound from the incident on pit road, as is Denny Hamlin. Those two have made their way up to 9th and 10th. Right along with Denny Hamlin on the bumper of that 11 car.
It's taken Harvick this long. You know, he came out 11, it's taken him this long to get to 9th. And that's New Hampshire. It's so difficult to pass. All these shots we've shown with the multiple routes, yes, there's places for cars to go, but you don't have this huge advantage from one route to the other. So when you get underneath another car, the fight's just begun. And it's difficult to get underneath them to begin with. So when you give up those spots on pit road or on restarts or for any other reason, it just takes forever to recover from.
Pretty good battle here for 16th. Eric Almirola currently has it, Dave.
He was running as high as 14th after starting 26th. He made up most of that ground on that last 70-lap run past a lot of race cars. And Trent Owens' crew chief told me this morning in practice, we weren't overall displeased. Coming a lot of entry, good through the middle, good exit on a long run. And usually, when my driver makes those comments, it's a good indicator for us. Right now, Eric just trying to move forward into the top 15.
And we jump on board with the 43 car here. We have a great opportunity to see all the work the driver has to do. This is out the front windshield. You see Eric Almirola working the steer wheels. He gets down into the corner. But what this camera allows us to do is pan around 360 degrees. So not only does Eric Almirola have to work out the front windshield, but when you look out the rear windshield, you'll see what's really on Eric's mind. And that's the 14 car, Tony Stewart, right there behind the spoiler, working on the 43 as he goes down the straightaway, checks his mirror, sees this shot right here. You see Tony looking for a little bit of air below the 43 car, trying to run a little bit tighter line, a little bit faster than the 43 through the corner, and actually got off the corner a little bit better. So this is one of my favorite shots. It really shows you what the driver's able to see out of that rearview mirror.
Continue to pan to the driver's side. chance of Eric Almirola. Again, right behind him was the 14 Tony Stewart. Mike.
Yep, he's just riding in the tire tracks of Almirola right now. Before the race, Rick, Tony Stewart was all smiles. It didn't have anything to do with what's transpired in New Hampshire, however. It had to do with what happened at his dirt track at Eldora last night. A major event, the King's Royal, came off without a hitch. And in addition, a car that was co-owned by Tony Stewart and driven by Donnie Schatz won the race. So obviously, Tony very happy getting into the car. However, after about 137 laps, not quite as happy. Can't get back to the gas the way he likes, Marty.
Mike, Tony Stewart likely in the chase. Ryan Blaney would love to be in the chase. Right now, they came into the race 19th in the championship standings on the chase grid, 24 points below the cut line. How important are points for those guys trying to make it into the chase? Well, Jeremy Bollins told me they worked 1 hour on that wrecked car in Kentucky during the race. They gained 2 points, but he told me, hey, those 2 points might be the difference in us getting in the chase or not getting in the chase. Right now for Ryan Blaney, car the best it's been all day. In fact, Bollins told him, I think the car's good enough now to where we might have to play a little track position game later on. So I'd like to see 2 tires for this 21 car trying to get into the top 10.
Rick, a lot of strategies going to be played by every team trying to figure out how they can get to the front and maybe close the gap on Martin Truex Jr., which has been very difficult to do as we see Edwards and Johnson fighting for the 7th spot.
The problem these crew chiefs are going to have, Rick, is the laps wind down now 140 complete. Strategy isn't going to be that easy because you're not, if you're the 21, Jeremy Bollins, they're not going to be able to just take 2 tires and get to the front because the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, the 19 of Carl Edwards, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, you see them battling here. They know how hard it is to recover. We talked about the 4 and the slow pit stop. They're not going to want to give up that time, so I'd be surprised to see the 4 car continue to take 4 tires.
Let's listen into the 48 radio.
Well, you're doing a really good job. The big thing that I did notice was, like I said, traffic. They just definitely bomb it in there and just take the lane away from the other guy that was complete blatant disregard of the slower car.
Jimmy trying to, or Chad trying to encourage Jimmy to be just more aggressive with lap traffic. You know, it's interesting. You have these 2 guys that have won 6 championships together, and they push each other. You know, I mean, not many crew chiefs up and down pit road talk to their driver about things they're seeing other drivers do. Normally that'll come from the spotter. You know, normally that comes from a view from above. But Chad will constantly push Jimmy, and Jimmy takes it. You know what I mean? Some drivers will get their feelings hurt and say, you know what, I don't want to hear it from you. But Jimmy does a great job of taking that information. Sometimes we hear it and we think, you know, they're in conflict, and they are. But you know what? When you're trying to win races or be successful in anything, you're not going to agree all the time. You're better off talking about it. Sometimes they argue in public, but there's no question they push each other to be better.
And Jeff, we've heard this from this race team for years, but to your point, they make each other better. Jimmy's told me that several times, that sometimes when Chad challenges me in the middle of a race, he makes me better. And a great example of that was early in the race when Chad went on the radio and said, hey, your brake rotors are glowing. Might want to lay off those brakes a little bit. And then about 5 laps later, he said, there you go, best laps of the race.
Chad Knaus is not a comfortable person to work with, but I can say from experience, I was a better crew chief sharing a shop with Chad Knaus. He not only pushes Jimmy Johnson to be better, he pushes his competitors to be better, and as his teammate for years, he pushed me to be better because he didn't get into meetings and worry about people's feelings. He worried about running fast and being aggressive with pit strategy. He is a tough leader, but he's very smart and very, very aggressive to try to be better. And I owe a lot to Chad. He showed me how you race and how you be aggressive in every area.
And I believe that you don't have time not to be honest. It's a race going on. This race only is 301 laps. You don't have time to you know, just not say something after the race and say, hey man, you know what, I've done this. Like, that's too late. Right. It's too late. Talk about it now. You've got to be honest. You've got to be straightforward.
77 career wins between the 2, 3 of them at this racetrack. Jimmy Johnson currently running in the top 10, chasing after Martin Truex Jr.
Great! My Mercury engines! You're not going to believe what happened. Superhero battle? Yeah! So the red guy threw my car at the blue guy, and the blue guy had a freeze ray. It was like...
We see that a lot this time of year.
Really?
Don't worry. We cover superhero damage.
And save you money, too.
We're on a mission to save you money.
One is the most capable pickup on the road today. The other, the most fuel-efficient full-size pickup ever. And together, they outlast them all. Guts, glory, Ram.
Get 0% APR for 60 months or $82.50 in total values on select 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab models in dealer stock.
Kyle Busch with a great restart. He's going to try to take the lead.
This is where it gets good.
And he will take it away from Kevin Harvick.
Clear, clear, clear. This is where finishing first earns you the sweetest kiss in motorsports. That's the Brickyard, man.
Get more boxing with Time Warner Cable.
I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight that reminds me of the good old days, when fighters actually fought. I want to see the best against the best. No ducking, no excuses. Just two real undefeated champions that know when the bell rings, it's time to give the fans what they want.
Crawford versus Postal. Live Saturday, July 23rd on pay-per-view. Order with your remote or call 1-855-1-TWC. Time Warner Cable.
We decided to get a red instead of the basic black, white, gray because we wanted to be out of the box. We're in our 60s and I didn't want to look 60. I wanted to look youthful and I love my Jeep because it makes me feel young.
Drive the new 2016 Jeep Cherokee Latitude 4x4. Summer clearance event lease just $199 a month. Or choose 0 for 72 months financing plus cash allowance. At Burdick Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Drivers Village.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Harboni. Are you ready? Coming up next week, NASCAR heads to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Xfinity Series racing on Saturday, 3 o'clock, Sunday at 2:30 Eastern for the Sprint Cup Series, a racetrack that is very familiar to Tony Stewart, his home track, and he's been able to find victory lane there. Just moments ago on the radio, he was talking about this track, though.
Whatever it's worth, man, it is, I don't know if it's a different tire or what, but I mean, we're using twice as much racetrack as we normally do as far as where we can race on the racetrack. It's pretty fun out here. That's all. Good to know.
And I think Tony is right. I think a lot has to do with this new right side tire. I think Goodyear should be given a lot of credit. There have been some rule changes, but they continue to bring great tires to the racetrack that match these rules and seem to give these drivers more options.
I think that's the key. It's a combination. It's a combination of the tire, and the tire is because of the lower downforce. Remember, this year, there's less downforce on these race cars than what they had last year, so that enables Goodyear to build a softer right side tire. And like we saw in Richmond, we saw the groove open up in Richmond that we hadn't seen in several years. With this lower downforce and softer tire, we're without a doubt seeing more grooves at racetracks.
Let's go one time through the field, brought to you by Credit One. Start with Marty.
Rick, so far today, Martin Truex Jr. has led 65 laps, but at the beginning of the weekend, Cole Byrne told me nothing was going right. He said the data crashed for their race team 5 minutes before practice on Friday. This morning, he spilled hot tea all over his computer. It didn't work anymore. He said, I'm ready to leave New Hampshire, but now that Truex is in the lead, I think this whole race team's a little happier, Dave.
Yikes. I think it was a little better for the 18 team of Kyle Busch this weekend. But right now, he said, I've given it everything it has. The tires, basically, he's used up at this point to try to keep up with the 78. So he's just riding right now, according to the driver. As for his teammate, Matt Kenseth, his entry was not what he needs right now. Talking to Jason Ratcliffe, his crew chief, earlier today, he told me that lap 15 to 20 and beyond staying power was what they hoped they built into the car. That has shown up. Right now, Matt just needs an adjustment, Marty.
Dave Brad Keselowski hanging out in the 4th position. He told me earlier this week, you know, sometimes racetracks just click for a driver and a race team. For New Hampshire, that's our place where we just seem to click. We can always go back to an old setup and the same story. Keselowski said he's one adjustment away from being a great car. I need a little more left rear security. A little too loose for Brad Keselowski, Kelly.
Kurt Busch and the 41 team trying a completely new package on the car, hoping to hit something that will work for this race when it comes chase time. Well, it started off as, quote, a hot mess, but the team has been working on it, making adjustments. It's gotten much better for Kurt. He's as high as 2nd, now 5th. They might go back on one of those adjustments, Dave.
Chase
Elliott had the fastest single lap in final practice yesterday, and crew chief Alan Gustafson was happy with their speed. Right now, though, Chase radioed in. He said, my car is too loose, especially on entry, to race with these guys, Marty.
Dave, not only did Jimmy Johnson's team have a nice pit stop last time, they came in 10th and out in the 5th position. Currently, they're back in the 7th position, but they made the car better throughout the day. You see Kevin Harvick trying to track him down right now. How did Jimmy Johnson relax this weekend? With a 32-mile bike ride on Friday afternoon, and he told me it took 2 hours as if he was apologetic. He said there's a lot of hills around here, and said, trust me, I couldn't make it 32 miles, guys. Kelly?
Kevin Harvick's crew chief told me he's really not worried about getting any more wins ahead of the chase. He just wants to find more speed in his cars, but he said they would love to win this one because they feel like they let the last 3 slip away. Well, he's had 2 issues on pit road that have cost him a lot of spots, and now you see Kevin Harvick working hard to make up those positions, Rick.
Yeah, the 48 gets a little bit loose as he was coming out of turn 4, giving the advantage to the 4. Kevin Harvick's going to make the pass. So Harvick trying to pull away now after the issues on pit road. Getting some of his positions back, not all the way back to where he was. But Harvick's made it up to 7th now. Should we go back to Mike Massaro?
Well, you know, Rick, in his 2nd year with Joe Gibbs Racing, Carl Edwards says he's much more comfortable this year and admitted last year he may have put a little bit too much pressure on himself and found himself making moves and mistakes that he wouldn't have made in the past. Being more comfortable now, he came into the day very optimistic, taking a peek underneath Jimmy Johnson there, thinking better of it. Feels like the only thing holding him back right now in this run, lacking rear grip, Kelly.
Mike Wheeler on the 11 car, much like Rodney Childers, says, honestly, I don't care if we win another race until Homestead. If we finish 3rd every week until we get to Miami, that'd be just fine with me. Our team already has the confidence that it needs to get to Homestead and have a shot at the championship. They, too, had a mistake on pit road. They cost him some positions. They had run as high as 3rd. He's in the 10th spot right now, Marty.
Earlier this week, I talked to Eddie Wood, one of the co-owners here at Wood Brothers Racing. I said, what impresses you most about Ryan Blaney? He said, no doubt, just how calm he is. A good example of that is today. The car, terrible in the first couple of runs, but they've made it progressively better each run. And even when we talked about a little while ago, he was in 12th. He's already gained another spot since then. Kelly up at 11.
Damien McMurray, as we said, has that 16th and final spot in the chase grid right now. But his crew chief, Matt McCall, says, I can't look too far ahead. We're just taking this thing race by race. The points are so tight. One race can cost you 15 points or more. And you're on the outside looking at his focus, minimizing mistakes, and not making calls that will make him lose track position. He started 19th, up to 12th now, Mike.
Kelly, talking with Casey Kane's crew chief Keith Rodden this morning, you got the sense that they were incredibly motivated. Very disappointed where they finished a week ago in Kentucky. He told me they took a 7th place car and turned it into a 14th place car. Motivated not to do that again today. They know they're below the cutoff point in the playoff chase. They need to improve and get as many points as they can today. He's a little bit loose off. They need to improve on that as the day goes on, Marty.
Like a couple weeks ago, Austin Dillon told me they felt like this was one of the places they could come, finish in the top 5. Again, this is a race team trying to make their way into the chase. They're currently in the 14th position. They've lacked forward grip on this run and forward bite. He said, if you can give me some of that, I think we can make our way into the top 10. Rick?
Look at Alex Bowman right behind the 3 of Austin Dillon. And Bowman, pretty good run here as he races against Austin.
This is a really good run. I think this is what Bowman, this is what you need from Alex Bowman. A substitute driver role, never been a great equipment, gets in the back of the 3 car just a little bit, looked like to me. I think you can have a good, solid finish. That's what you want from him.
Man, look at this. A little bit of a run on the 3 of Austin Dillon, Mike.
Yeah, he tries to duck up underneath, and he's able to do that. A little bit surprising considering he's saying he's got a loose in. Trying to make it work, however, drawing even now as they head into the corner. Gets a nose out front, may have the position. You know, another layer to the story. There was mention that Jeff Gordon may come out of retirement next week, Rick, and drive at the Brickyard. I spoke with Greg Ives this morning about that. He said, yes, I've already texted with Jeff. They've already made preliminary plans as to when Jeff's going to come back from his vacation. As you may or may not know, he's in France right now. He's already making plans when to come back in case he is needed next week.
Thank you, Mike. And once again, we hope that Dale Earnhardt Jr. makes it back and is healthy enough to race at Indianapolis next week. But right now, it's Martin Truex Jr. Remember a week ago, it was a penalty on pit road that relegated him back in the field. Now today, he's got smooth sailing and nothing in front of that windshield as he leads in New Hampshire.
You know, Viagra helps guys with erectile dysfunction get and keep an erection. Talk to your doctor about Viagra.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempus for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Love is hard. Quick read is easy.
You know what sounds better than me? Prime rib for $13.99. Slice into Denver's prime rib, new coconut shrimp, and teriyaki sirloin. Dinner's $13.99. Only at Golden Corral.
Ram trucks are built to work, to play, tow, and haul. They're built to get the job done and go the distance. Ram trucks are built to be America's longest-lasting pickups.
Get 0% APR for 60 months or $82.50 in total values on select 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab models in dealer stock.
This is where finishing first earns you the sweetest kiss in motorsports. That's the Brickyard Man. The first snap, the first tackle, the first touchdown. Your first look starts here. Get back to football with every preseason game, including 16 live, starting August 11th, only on NFL Network.
Today's biggest mover, presented by Sprint, is Matt Hansen. He has made up 15 spots on the track today. He's had to do it by going forward and then back. Had an issue on pit road. Sprint's network reliability. Now within 1% of Verizon switch today and save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates. Great battle for the lead. Kyle Busch, look at the inside of Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Busch trying to take it away as he has to pitch it down behind the 6 of Trevor Bayne. And Kyle Busch will make the pass work.
Martin called the 6 of Trevor Bayne and just has not been able to get by. Trevor has given no room whatsoever getting in the corner. That allowed the 18 to get caught up. Now let's see if the 18 can get underneath.
So the 18 is going to try to get by the 6, and as he sits behind them, they almost go 3 wide as they go into turn number 1, but it ends up being Kyle Busch having the advantage. They'll both clear Trevor Bayne, and Martin Truex Jr. holds on to the 2nd spot. Now Truex Jr. all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Yellow line, left side tires on that yellow line as he was trying to come off a lot lower than the 18 of Kyle Busch.
And that's so frustrating. If you're Martin Truex Jr., you're hot, you're upset. You're like, you know, he didn't cut us any slack. But, like we talked about it before, if you're Trevor Bayne, it's your job to try to stay in the lead lap. It's a big difference between being the pass-around car, the first car lap down, and the car that's still in the lead lap. So you see the 78. He is underneath the 6. The 6 just gives him no room whatsoever. 78 actually gets him to the back of him. I mean, the 6 was driving really, really defensively, trying to keep him behind. But what I was saying is if you get the free pass, okay, what that allows you to do, it allows you to get your lap back. But you start, you're the last car, you know, you're on the tail end of the longest line. That's a huge difference between starting 24 on the lead lap. So you have to fight for that position.
Track position is key at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Right now, out front, it's Kyle Busch once again. He's led the most laps, 89. Martin Truex Jr. was able to accumulate 84 laps led. Jimmy Johnson has led one today as we see the battle for 10th. Carl Edwards trying to hold off rookie Ryan Blaney. Blaney, just a 22-year-old out of High Point, North Carolina.
That wreck last week, the 21 Carl Blaney, that really hurt him in his chase hopes. You know, he was having a good solid finish but got in that wreck, so he's got to earn some points back to get himself in position.
Again, points are very important, especially for those right along the cut line right now, because with the opportunity that's been presented to them, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. not being able to run in this race, they've got to accumulate as many points as they possibly can today when he's not on the track so that they can gain position.
Well, the ultimate goal is to make points where they're not. Or win a race. And you're in. Win a race and be in the top 30 is the goal. But you see the chase bubble right here, how close it can be. You have the 88, only 10 above the chase grid. The 5 of Casey Kane, 10 below. Trevor Bayne right there. Ryan Blaney right there. You know, there's still a whole summer worth of racing. So 16 points is not a lot of points.
Yeah, and this system, we talk about wins and moving on, and wins are everything, but that's not 100% accurate, because never before has 15th or 16th in points with 7 races left to go had a chance to win the championship. But that's the case here. You see a battle for the lead.
Mark Truex Jr. was looking to the inside of Kyle Busch as Kyle Busch is up behind the 10 of Danica Patrick. Now Kyle Busch looks to the outside of the 10, maybe setting him up, and as he goes a little bit higher through the turn, the 78 of Mark Truex Jr. was down there. Big wiggle out of Kyle Busch as he looks to the inside now of Danica Patrick.
Much like the 6 Trevor Bayne, you expect Danica Patrick to fight for this position. She's on one's on the lead lap now, 1 lap down, trying to maintain that position for a race team.
Truex Jr. fighting to get by the 10 of Danica Patrick, able to make the pass.
We're going to be closed in on lap 180 of the race. We were really getting close to that pit window opening. Last time these cars were on pit road was lap 101. As you see, Kevin Harvick passed at 24 of Chase Elliott for the 6th position. You know, we expected 80 to 85 laps. They're completing lap 79 of this run right now. It's kind of that cat and mouse game. Now, Kyle Busch and Martin Truex, they have a 3.5-second lead over Matt Kenseth, almost 9 seconds back to Brad Keselowski. So they're almost racing within one another. But if you're Kyle Busch or Mark Truex, you do not want to be beat to pit road by one another. If you're the 78, if I'm Cole Pearn the 78, I'm going to try to get to pit road a lap before Kyle Busch, 1 lap on new tires, to try to leapfrog him on the racetrack.
You're mentioning pit road and pit stops coming up. The 4 also thinking about that. Here's what they had to say on the radio.
Doing good. Last couple of about 3 minutes. The next 3 in front of it. I got to pick out how to make a pit stop. We got a fast car. We get beat to the every time.
Yeah, all right.
Rick, so it's been 80 laps now since they had that mistake on pit road. Obviously still very fresh on Kevin's mind as we see the 48 come down pit road.
Coming to you, Marty.
Jimmy Johnson going down pit road. Jack Dowse asked him to try some higher lines on the racetrack. They made the car better as they've gone along. Still a little bit too loose on exit for Jimmy Johnson. Now you got to wonder if this is going to start a whole bunch of cars coming down pit road. Only 4 tires here for Jimmy Johnson. The air pressure adjustment hoping to fix that loose on exit for him. And Jimmy Johnson, the first of the leaders to come down pit road. Now you got to wonder when will the other leaders come down pit road, Kelly.
Danny Hamlin making his way down. He said his center is flowing no matter what they do. I need more forward breath. They're going to get him 4 figure tires and upper wheel and making air pressure adjustments. Help him out, Dave.
Eric Almirola is quick. Davis 43 was loose in and off of the corner, so he'll get adjustments for that and 4 Goodyear tires. Marty.
David, has been a rough day for Joey Logano and his race team. See him sliding to a stop, and he said, in fact, at one point, I'm getting beaten into the corner, in the middle of the corner, and on the exit of the corner. I guess that means I'm getting beaten everywhere on the racetrack, Dave.
Chase Elliott's 2 loose Chevrolet will get 4 tires and adjustments. The crew going to work around the left side wedge wrench in the window, Kelly.
Harvick hasn't said much about the handling of his car, but he restarted 11th, made his way up to 6th, so something seems to be working. It looks like a better stop there for the 4, Dave.
Leader Kyle Busch was so patient waiting for his car to come around. It's really been pretty good, but it does need adjustment, a wedge adjustment on the right-hand side. 4 Goodyear tires and Snowco fuel. A clean stop for the race leader, Kyle Busch. Marty.
Dave Mark Truex Jr., the man running second when they came to pit roads, and a loss of turn in the center just a little bit. Not too bad, so it's an air pressure adjustment. Hoping to make that a little bit better for Truex and 4 Goodyear tires, Kelly.
Kurt Busch said they couldn't roll through the center very well, but that the car was hanging in there. They made an air pressure adjustment to both rears, Mike.
Carl Edwards says he
Kozlowski coming down pit road. He too said he just lost the center turn a little bit. He said, I would love some more left rear security, but he's been asking for that since the beginning of the day. Paul Wolf also told him on the last stop, you were a little too close to the wall. Pull out a little bit more. So an air pressure adjustment for the two car, trying to help that center of the corner and the exit as well. 4 Goodyear tires also.
Can't make a mistake on pit road, and that's what Ryan Blaney and the 21 team did. Too fast entering. They were running 11.
Yeah, we focus on when pit crews make mistakes, the drivers make mistakes as well, trying to get on pit road, pushing it, just pushing a little too hard.
Let's listen into the radio.
Good man, no pit road here, trying to make a passer. You're 50 right, 0 right.
And you see on the bottom, the chase points, 33 points out of the chase.
And listen, drivers never know that, well, rarely do drivers believe they spin on pit road, but the way the time and score works today, it's really no argument. You know, it's done in a way that with lines and computers and transponders, and it is what it is. But drivers, it's hard to believe that you sped. You did everything. You feel like you did everything right. You just can't believe you sped.
And we apologize. Obviously, a frustrating time for Ryan Blaney. Language there that, you know, when you're in your office and you're working as hard as you can and you make a mistake, or someone tells you you make a mistake, it's very, very hard to deal with.
Well, we just talked about it. I mean, he's racing for his season. And all of this pressure, all the things that are going on, he's racing for his season. It's not just a race. I mean, he's racing to try to get into the chase to win a championship. And this greatly harms his ability to do that. So the emotions come out.
Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth. Remember, it was a great battle between Kyle Busch and Truex Jr., still tight on the track.
This is the Ford F-150, the only pickup with a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body. Of all the full-size half-ton pickups, it's got the most towing, the best payload, and the highest gas mileage. Plus no body rust. And guess what? This is the safest F-150 ever built. The only pickup to pull the government's 5-star safety rating and earn an IIHS top safety pick. This is the F-150, and Ford F-Series is the undisputed truck leader for 39 straight years.
This is real buttermilk, where real biscuits come from. This is made from scratch.
The made from scratch bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with Applewood smoked bacon. Get 2 for just $3.50 at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
500 degrees, 40 below, and protection for 15,000 miles. Mobil 1. Energy lives here.
This is the place where you can forget all about work for a while and celebrate the good old U.S. of A. And take in the best bumper-banging, fist-waving, hero-making short-track race of the year, the Bass Pro Shops NRA Night Race. It's America's night race. Be there August 20th because it ain't just another race. It's Bristol, baby.
Before I knew it, we were hit, and I didn't know it until I saw my daughter's airbag went off.
I remember Kristen and her daughter's case. Another car ran a red light and hit them. Serious injuries.
Everything was settled outside of court.
She didn't want to go to court, and she didn't have to.
They're right there every single day.
We really exceeded her expectations.
When we got the check, my mouth just dropped.
We're Alexander, Catalano.
Call 1-800-LAW-33.
We decided to get a red instead of the basic black, white, gray, because we wanted to be out of the box. We're in our 60s, and I didn't want to look 60. I wanted to look youthful, and I love my Jeep because it makes me feel young.
Drive the new 2016 Jeep Cherokee Latitude 4x4. Summer clearance event lease just $199 a month. Or choose 0 for 72 months financing plus cash allowance. At Burdick Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Drivers Village.
Race coverage, stay tuned for the NASCAR America post-race show presented by Advanced Auto Parts. And later tonight, be sure to catch NASCAR Victory Lap. That's all coming up on NBCSN. Kyle Busch starting to put a little gap between himself and Martin Truex Jr. It was about a second when we went away, And now that we're back, it's 3.3 seconds separating Kyle Busch and Mark Truex Jr.
Rick, this has the feeling of a classic New Hampshire race. Long green flag runs in the first 200 or 225 laps. We'll get a caution somewhere in the 80 lap to go range, and then the strategy will start. Do you push fuel? Do you take tires? And then we have a rash of cautions in the last 100 lap. We'll see. But statistics would say when you have this many green flag laps early in a race here at Loudon, you're going to have a lot of cautions late.
You referenced that. There's only been 2 cautions. One of them was for the competition caution at lap 35, and only 12 laps have been run under caution. 8 lead changes between 4 different drivers. Brad Keselowski was credited as leading a lap. So Kyle Busch has been the most dominant. He has led 107 laps, now 108 as he crossed the finish line. And Mark Truex Jr., 85 laps already for Truex Jr. out front. Michael, what's going on with Alex Bowman?
Just want to get you up to speed with what's going on with the 88. The car has been 3 in, 3 off throughout the course of the day. They did make some adjustments on that last stop. 4 tires, air pressure, and the car has gotten a little bit more consistent. He says this has been the best it's been all day long, currently running 12th.
I mean, have to feel great about 12th, right? I mean, you know, he's a substitute driver running 12th. What else, what more could you ask?
And we want to remind the fans that this isn't Alex Bowman's first start in the Cup Series. Right. As a matter of fact, it's his 72nd start in the Cup Series. He has run a lot of races, but it hasn't been in the quality of equipment that he's in now. So that is why we reference this opportunity for Alex Bowman to show his skills, because this is the best equipment he's ever been in his life in the Sprint Cup Series.
And it changes. You drive good equipment. If your approach to the race, your approach to every lap is completely different. You have to learn how to compete. When you're driving a car that can run 35th, it's different than a car that can run 5th. And you have to approach it differently. You have to learn how to race like that. And, you know, again, you're doing it at the highest level. And this, you know, you're racing against some of the best drivers in the world. It's difficult.
One of the team trying to take advantage of Dale Earnhardt Jr. not being in the 88. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's the Hampshire Motorsports teammate, Casey Kane in the 5. Currently running at the 10th position. Lost those 15 points from a penalty earlier in the race season, trying to bounce back, get into the chase. You see currently 7 points out of the chase grid, having a solid run in the 10th position. Not the run they want. I mean, 10th is not where Casey Kane wants to run. This team wants to go out and compete for wins. But when we talk about momentum in this sport, they need to have some good runs to build on, and currently having a decent run in the top 10.
And typically in this sport, you don't go from running 15th to win races. You have to grind your way to it. You got to find a way to get to 5th. You got to find a way to lead laps. You're going to have a bad pit stop when you should have won a race. You're going to make a mistake as a driver when you should have won a race. You have to put yourself in position over and over and over. And that's why we keep talking about points. For these teams that are trying to get in the chase, they haven't exhibited the speed or the ability at this point of year to win the race, so they have to gain as many points as possible.
The guy who doesn't have to worry as much about points is the guy who's up front. He's already got 3 wins on the season, Dave.
And Rick, you guys touched on it earlier. The September race here in the chase comes up very quickly. Your Chief Adam Stevens told me you want to leave here feeling like you have a good setup to start from. Now, as an early round of the chase, you don't necessarily have to win, but you have to have a strong day. You need to leave here with something to lean on, Marty.
Dave, further back in the field is Joey Logano, and it's amazing to hear that they're running 15th, and they're pretty happy with that. Logano has had a car that has not been good all day long. You're riding on board with him right now. He said, I'm getting beat in every part of the racetrack, getting help everywhere. I asked Todd Gordon about their approach to the weekend. He said, you know, a lot of teams that are locked into the chase are approaching this as a chase race weekend. We're approaching it as a test for a chase race weekend. So we have a completely experimental setup. We're asking Joey to do different things behind the wheel. I can tell you, this is not a setup that we bring back in September. But Todd Gordon's point to me was, listen, we know we have a setup that can run 3rd to 5th here at New Hampshire. We want to be better than that. So Steve, at some point, you've got to try things. And sometimes the best way to learn is to want to learn not to do, correct?
Well, you have to fill your notebook with something. With the next New Hampshire race only 9 weeks from today. What are you going to come back with? And I think the most important part of that entire report was that they have a setup they feel can run inside the top 5. They're looking for a winning setup. That's different than if you come here without any confidence. You just have to hope that setup they're going to lean on you works when they come back in 9 weeks.
How do you know you have a setup that can run in the top 5? This is a different tire. It's different downforce package than last year. I don't know how you have that confidence.
Tell you who has confidence right now. Kyle Busch out front as we go NASCAR nonstop.
This is why I love it here. That fresh air all up in your face. My cousin Wilbur in the city has to wear a leash just to go for a stroll. I'm sorry, that? No. But with propane, you can live where you want and how you want. And since it's both clean and reliable, you can say propane is man's best fuel. She knows what I'm talking about. Proudly independent, proudly American, proudly propane.
Thanks for this Oreo caramel shake, Karen. Caramel for Karen. That makes sense. And Janine for peanut butter. I don't get it. Why? She reminds me of my ex-girlfriend Janine, who was nuts.
23 real ice cream shakes, all half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
You and I.
My brother and I have always been rivals. We would dream about racing each other in Monaco.
Forevermore. And you were always by my side.
We were born brothers.
You're the guy I care about.
Competition made us friends. Wishbold in a 2017 Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
Don't bring that mess around here, Evan! Wow!
Don't do it. You dare.
I don't think so! It's okay, big fella. We're gonna get through this together. Nice rip, Robbie.
When you bundle home and auto insurance through Progressive, you get more than just a big discount. I'm gonna need you. You get relentless protection.
Advance Auto Parts.
My dad joined Starfleet because he believed in it. I joined on a dare.
Our captain will come for us. Mercy will be the last thing on his mind.
Counting on Star Trek Beyond PG-13.
Fresh star in the making. The quest begins here.
First Olympic Games, silver medalist, 2 consecutive silvers for Allison. And Allison Phoenix gets her gold. She's become one of the best ever.
And that total of gold medals just each through. Kyle Busch 92 laps away from sweeping the weekend in New Hampshire. He did it last year in Indianapolis. That's what's coming up next week. The Xfinity Series at 3 o'clock, the Sprint Cup Series on Sunday at 1:30. And amazingly enough, Kyle Busch sweeping the races at Indianapolis last year, trying to sweep here. Kyle Busch looking very strong in whatever car he gets behind the wheel of. Want to update some of his Joe Gibbs racing teammates? Let's go to Dave.
And brakes are always a discussion here in New Hampshire. At 8:20 a.m. this morning, Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, climbed inside of Matt Pence's car and touched his hand to the brake pedal to feel the brake pedal tension. They wanted to give Matt just a little bit more so that he wouldn't put his left foot on there and ride the brake while he was competing. Now, in the race, they actually had to remove some debris from a brake duct because the brakes were a little bit squishy. But very important that they get that braking right here in New Hampshire. Kelly?
Denny Hamlin essentially sealed his spot in the chase by winning the first race of the season, the Daytona 500. Since then, they've really just been prepping things to get ready for the chase, although Denny has always been a good flat track guy like he is here at New Hampshire. His crew chief, Mike Wheeler, telling me that, hey, if we have problems with tires, that's good for us too. He's really good at managing them. Well, they took 2 tires early in this race, which gained him a bunch of track position. They've gone with 4 tires since. And an interesting note on Denny, before his last pit stop, he said his heel feels like it's on fire. Getting really hot down there. Mike?
Kelly, talking with Carl Edwards, crew chief, this morning, he said the thing that really sets Carl apart from some of the other drivers he's worked with is mental toughness, his communication, and he's good at tracks where driver input makes a big difference. He considers New Hampshire one of those racetracks, and with that, they were extremely optimistic coming into this afternoon, feeling they had a car that could run top 5 and perhaps for the win. Right now, though, he had been searching for rear grip. They made some changes on the last stop, put a rubber in the left rear. The car has gotten better, but still, they need to keep working on it here in the next 80 laps or so.
Thank you, Mike. As the 41 and 4 teammates fighting for a spot. Kurt Busch just in front of Kevin Harvick. And Harvick trying that low line. See if he can get by Kurt Busch. He's going to make the pass. All right, crew chief, 88 laps to go. Kyle Busch is out front 2.5 seconds. So, as a crew chief, what are you thinking for, say, drivers Truex Jr., Kenseth, Keselowski running second, third, or fourth? What kind of strategy can you play? Short pit, you thought maybe save fuel. Could it go the rest of this race if they save fuel?
Well, really, I think the next 4 or 5 laps is going to eliminate a fuel strategy. There's no way a team can go from lap 183 to the finish. And once we get past about 82 or 83 to go, you're pretty confident every car in the field can make it from there. So really, you just are starting to look at if you would take 2 tires or 4 tires or how you would break up that last run. Short pitting is an option. If you get longer into this run, you could come with, say, 60 to go and split up this last 118 laps. The fear is, with Kyle Busch running such a dominant race, he has such a lead over his competitors that there's a pretty good chance you would end up 2 laps down pitting. You get caught 2 laps down, basically ends your day. The wave might only get you back to 1 lap down.
Yeah, and the other concern is just the fact that we know that history tells us we have cautions coming. Like historically at this racetrack, we end up with cautions at the end of this race. So if you pit early and you get called by that, then you are those 2 laps down, and that's a big gamble.
Big move there for Denny Hamlin. He took 7th away from Chase Elliott. The top 5, Kyle Busch, Mark Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, who won the last 2 races. One at Daytona and Kentucky. Kevin Harvick running 5th.
Really, Rick, what crew chiefs need to be thinking about is with 85 laps to go, if there is a yellow, those usually breed more yellow. So how is your car on new tires? We talk how important restarts are. Well, you can be very slippery on these restarts. So maybe you're going to change your air pressure, change your adjustment. Right now, your car is set up to run a long run, Jeff. You're going to want it to be better on restarts at the end of this race.
That's right. Have a good pit stop and ask your driver to do what we've seen already. You've got to make it 3 wide. You've got to put your car in a position you wouldn't normally put it in, but it's so hard to pass. They're in the 48 all the way on the apron of the racetrack, but these are the things you have to do. The 19 of Carl Edwards all the way on the apron. Left side on the flat of the racetrack trying to get position. You've got to have good pit stops. You've got to ask your driver, hey, go get us some on this restart.
Driver trying to find a opportunity and advantage over their competitor, and right now everyone chasing after Kyle Busch. He has just over a second lead over Mark Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick. We go NASCAR nonstop.
Today we're talking about automotive awards. Which one of these awards appeals most to you?
Top safety type mid-size car and SUV.
Most dependable means a lot.
So the caution is out for debris.
Fuel efficiency.
It was right as they were about to go to commercial, but I guess it just went there anyway.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it.
Spears, would you sum this car up in 1 word?
Incredible. Amazing. I can't use 1 word.
The Hardee's and Carl's Jr. $4 real deal. 2 sandwiches, small fries, and a drink.
People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. In my office, they call me boss man. I scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm water cooler Dale. Well, I got this new chair, had it for a couple weeks, but it keeps lowering it. Dang it. I mean, I reset it to where I want it. I go back to my office and I sit down. It's lower. No, someone's lowering it. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what, for the money on my mind.
75 lyrics to share. Find a code for every moment.
Hey, I'm Paul. And I used to ask if you could hear me now, Verizon. Not anymore. I'm with Sprint now. Because guess what? It's 2016 and every network is great. In fact, Sprint's reliability is now within 1% of Verizon. And Sprint saves you 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates. So I switched to Sprint. And millions more have too. Can you hear that?
Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much. Switch to Sprint today.
As you saw, NASCAR nonstop caution coming out for debris in turns 3 and 4. That opens up pit road. Kyle Busch will lead all the lead lap cars on the pit road. What will the strategy be now, Dave?
Third place Matt Kenseth in that yellow 20 said his car is looser on throttle and entry. So he'll get a little bit of an adjustment for that. Looks like it'll be air pressure and 2 tires for Kenseth. Meanwhile, he'll take, 4 tires for Kenseth. It'll be 4 tires for Busch as well. Marty.
Frank Kozlowski coming down pit road. He said it actually took off a little bit better on that round, but I just can't go low off the corner exit. That's what's hurting me. I'm just too loose. And they're again trying to make that tighter for the center of the corner off. For Martin Truex Jr., it's going to be a 4-tire change. He said, let's go with 2 tires. They decided and I believe Truex is going to be 18 off pit road, Rick.
Great race off of pit road. And yes, you're right. 4-tire stop for Truex and Kyle Busch. And Truex wins the race off pit road.
How long were you a slave to Rome?
38.
What is your name?
My family was betrayed by my own brother. I want to know about it.
You have no idea what you've done! Meet him in the arena, and you will have your vengeance. Give them a shame, make them understand. Are we having fun now, brother?
And rated PG-13. The Ford Freedom Sales Event is on with our best offers of the year. And 0% financing is back on a huge selection of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, get an extra 1,000 smart bonus on specially tagged vehicles. That's freedom from interest and freedom to choose with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Free, baby. Now get 0% financing plus 1,000 smart bonus cash on specially tagged vehicles. Only at the Ford Freedom Sales Event.
Hey kid, pal, friend, yo rook, newbie, hey you, number 20, number 3, 16. Here, no one's gonna know your name until you make them know it. Names are made here. The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
I hope we have a buyer for the house.
What are the neighbors doing? Bill! Hey! I didn't know your home Wi-Fi could stream so many devices at the same time.
Dad, it's Time Warner Cable Internet. Crazy fast. And we were right across the street the whole time.
Make your home as connected as possible with Time Warner Cable. Get 15 meg internet with no data cap for $39.99 per month. Call 1-844-435-8154.
Would anybody like to see the kitchen?
No.
Anybody? Dad, you can get Wi-Fi all over this place.
Cool. Switching is easy.
I know, right?
You get a 1-hour arrival window, no contract to sign, and a money-back guarantee.
You want to take a look at the kitchen?
Get 15 meg internet with unlimited data for $39.99 per month. Call 1-844-435-8154. Ask about free installation and access to nearly 500,000 Wi-Fi hotspots with select plans. Call now.
At some racetracks, it's a jukebox. Others, it's a grandfather clock. We come to New Hampshire. And Loudon, it is for the lobster. They're racing for the lobster from Rackers. The race off pit road was won by Martin Truex Jr. by that much, less than a car length ahead of Kyle Busch. They're still under caution. We want you to see more green flag laps. We'll take a quick break and be right back. New Hampshire 301.
Advance Auto Parts.
What do you want for lunch, honey? Can I have some KFC original recipe?
Excellent choice. But might I suggest something a little extra crispy? My extra crispy $5 fillet is freshly double breaded by hand. It's
a tasty real meal for just $5.
Mine extra crispy, boy?
Sure, kid. KFC. It's extra crispy good.
You heard about the boy?
Nobody can survive in that forest for 6 years, at least not alone.
I have Elliot. Where's Elliot? Go see.
You have no idea what this thing is capable of.
I don't want to leave you, but I'll come looking for you.
Dragon, rated PG.
Restart's so important, and we're about to have another Cup Series race from New Hampshire. It's the New Hampshire 301. 2x2, Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch. Truex Jr. got to choose lane choice. The light's coming back on the pace car. Looks like they're going to go around again. So Truex Jr. chooses the inside line. Kyle Busch will be on the outside line, and a little bit of communication between, well, not between drivers, but between spotters as to strategy on the restart.
Oscar's bringing slow enough to do that again on the start. Are you good with it? Yeah, I'm okay with it. Good. Just make sure we'll be fine about it. Give me a thumbs up.
So that was the 78 team, and with Mark Truex Jr. starting on the bottom of the racetrack, we'll see if there's an opening for the 18 right behind him, even though you've got teammates of Matt Kenseth back there as well, of Kyle Busch.
Self-serving. At this point in the race, it's self-serving. You gotta go get what you can get. But this caution offers an opportunity.
This is basically how NASCAR NBC is.
The 17 car was running 19.
Welcome back to New Hampshire, where the cars are going to have another lap.
They were all
We'll be
lapped
back
down.
to
They stayed
FPS
out.
commercial.
Now they did not fit, so now they went around the pace car. So now they're back.
I don't even feel that NASCAR decided to add another lap. I just feel like they did that for NBC to put another commercial.
And we are asked what makes New Hampshire so difficult. This is what there are now 25 cars in the lead lap.
Anyway, getting ready to go back to green.
To go. We have a rash of cautions here. Pit strategy becomes way more complicated.
The rows, Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Kenseth, Keselowski back behind
off,
him, Harvick and Hamlin into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air.
Green flag back in the air. I love how it says that.
Truex Jr., a very good restart. Kyle Busch.
Oh, what the hell was that?
The 20 of Matt Kenseth going to get by him through 1 and 2.
Yeah, this is not correct.
So if there was some work between those two teams, it didn't work out for the 18 as Matt Kenseth has been able to move up to second and right on the back bumper of Mark Truex Jr.
It's loose off a board. Kenseth has a run.
Mark Truex Jr. hanging on to that top spot. Running the groove through 1 and 2. Matt Kenseth peeking to the inside. Down the back stretch they go. Less than 73 laps to go in this race. Mark Truex Jr. has led 93 laps today. Kyle Busch has led the most at 143. Mark Truex Jr. trying to hold off Matt Kenseth.
Gets through the middle of the corner better than the 78. You see it gain right to his bumper.
Here comes Kevin Harvick looking to the inside of Kyle Busch. They try to take the third spot away from Busch. Busch powering around the outside. Going to get in the gas a little bit quicker than Kevin Harvick. They stay side by side for that position. And this time it's Kyle Busch that's able to stay out front. Of the 4. Matt Kenseth chasing after the 78 still for the lead. Kenseth, the most recent winner at this racetrack, won in the fall last year. And he has yet to lead a lap today. It has been pretty much all Kyle Busch and Mark Truex Jr. Keselowski and Johnson led a lap apiece. Kevin Harvick all over the back bumper of Kyle Busch.
And that's sometimes the struggle as you see the 78 trying to hold off the 20, the 18 trying to hold off the 4 Kevin Harvick.
when you have two cars that dominate the day like Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch has, it's hard to continue to work on your car, trying to make it better because you're already up front. You're already leading laps. You think perhaps you have the car you need, where Kevin Harvick's had 4 pit stops, hasn't gone to the back, has had to pass cars. Perhaps Rodney Childers has a clear idea of what he needs for a race setup.
And Steve, there have been very minimal changes for the 78 cars. You watch that battle for the lead on the left-hand side of your screen. Only little air pressure adjustment. Truex says the car just gets better the longer they run. And remember, they were not good in practice yesterday. They borrowed teammate Carl Edwards' setup from the Toyota camp and put it underneath this 78 car. And this way better than they expected. In fact, Colburn told me, if we leave here with a 5th to 7th place car today, I'll be happy. They did not expect this, Dave.
Right-hand side of your screen, Kyle Busch fighting to hold off Kevin Harvick right now. He was warned before the green flag by his crew chief that they had freed up that 18 car. That's something that can pay benefits down the line here, further in the run, but that he'd have to hang on to it if he could at the start. That's what he's doing right now, Kelly.
Rodney Childers and the 4 crew have tried a number of different changes to try to help Kevin Harvick. Last time, Kevin said his car chattered all the way through the run, but Rodney said, hey, what we need to do first is fix those air pressures. You were too low to get fired off the last round, so they've added air into that floor. Now he's making a run at the 18.
So many things they can do to manipulate these cars and give them a little better handling, but you have to figure out exactly what it is, and you have to do it in less than 12 seconds.
That's why communication is so important during the run, so the crew chief can be thinking about what kind of changes to make. When we see the 4 car with this tight battle for third, we got to give the pit crew credit. And this last pit stop, they came in and they held ground. They held serve. They did not lose spots, and that has enabled them to be fighting for third. Every other stop we've seen them, they've lost spots. But at this pit stop, they did a great job.
And in front of the 4, you have Kyle Busch, who I think has actually been slower than the 4 for the last 5 or 8 laps, but has done a great job of holding the 4 off, and now it looks like he's worked very hard to gain back a little bit of the window, a car length or 2 over the 4 car.
Right side of your screen, you see Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman.
And Alex Bowman has been a story since the very beginning of this weekend, Rick, substituting for Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's not his first start in the Sprint Cup Series. In fact, he's run a full season the last 2 years. Yet, he's never had a top 10 finish in the Sprint Cup Series. Right now, he's poised to do that, running 9th. Not all the credit goes to Alex, though. Some credit might go to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who actually made a phone call to crew chief Greg Ives this morning to go over setup notes. Ives told me it was very helpful because Jr. was the guy here for the test. He had a lot of very good input that's helped them tune this race car up this afternoon.
I think that test had a huge influence also on Alex Bowman, because now you could go back and look at driver data and see a battle for the lead.
Here comes Matt Kenseth. He looks to the inside. Martin Truex Jr. will try to hold him off again. All the way down under 100 miles an hour to the center of the turn. And Martin Truex Jr. able to hold him off. Kenseth, though, working on Martin Truex Jr. every lap. Truex Jr. not only has to look forward to see where he wants to hit his marks, but he's also got to keep his eyes on the 20 and find out where he's going.
There's a big gap between the 78 and 20. The 78 gets really loose right in the middle of the corner. That allowed 20 Matt Kenseth to make a big run on him. Turns the left, gets inside of him with the 78. And I'm surprised the 78, as loose as he got right there, I'm surprised the 78 could power up in the middle of the corner like this. Typically, if you're loose on one end of the racetrack, you'll be loose on the other as well. But now it looks like he's pulling back away.
And Jeff, Martin Truex Jr. just radioed to Colburn, says it's just chattering the right rear. That's been the complaint early in the run every time. Again, about 15 laps into a run. That's where the 78 car comes to life. Very strong at the end of the run. Jeff, you've had cars like this before. The sense is for a driver, if you can just hold that guy back there for about 15 laps, you're good to go, because you know at the end of the run, your car's better than his. But if you let him by, he may not get back.
Oh, that's right. And Marty, a chattering rear tire is very difficult to deal with. When the driver talks about a tire chattering, the tire actually hops across the racetrack. If you can imagine, you know, when you drive in the corner, the right rear tire actually hopping. It doesn't sit on the racetrack. It doesn't stay on the racetrack. It's hopping up and down. And a right rear chatter is very difficult to manage, especially on a racetrack where you're already loose on corner entry, like you always are at New Hampshire.
Well, I know the 78's hoping for his car to come in and get away from the 20. Well, both these cars need to look in the mirror, because as they run longer into this run, the 18 of Kyle Busch has gained a little bit of grip and driven away from Kevin Harvick and starting to close in on those front 2 cars.
Out in front, Mark Truex Jr. has been able to hold off Matt Kenseth. We go NASCAR nonstop.
The essence of racing.
Half-price cheeseburgers at Sonic's, such a great deal.
I know, man, and everything we're saving is going right in here.
Wow, you still have a piggy bank.
Every cent from every allowance, every summer job, right in this bad boy.
Doesn't sound like there's that much in there.
No, it doesn't. Where's all my money?
Hey, take it easy. That's a ceramic pig you're yelling at.
Pig. You pig.
Celebrate Sonic's Burger Bash with half-price cheeseburgers all day Thursday, July 21st. And get a free slush when you download the new Sonic app.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack knocked over a candlestick onto the shag carpeting, and his pants ignited into flames, causing him to stop, drop, and roll. Luckily, Jack recently had Geico help him with renter's insurance, because all his belongings went up in flames. Jack got full replacement and now has new pants he ordered from Banana Republic. Visit geico.com and see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
Let's go places. At NASCAR, we find ways to make a difference. We've planted trees so emissions can be cut down. We use Sunoco Green E15, clean ethanol blend to fuel race cars. And our waste oil never goes to waste. When the sun comes up, we put it to work. NASCAR Green. Visit NASCAR.com/green to learn more and see how you can make a difference.
Today's great aerial coverage provided by our partners at Smithfield Foods, giving you a shot of how drivers are able to take different lines and utilize them to get track position and make the passes. We just saw Denny Hamlin get by the 41 of Kurt Busch, now Chase Elliott right behind him. Mark Truex Jr. still out front. Matt Kenseth running second. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, the top five.
Yeah, you see on the top of the screen underneath the driver's name the last time they were on pit road. And all of our leaders came at lap 221, so they're good. There's no issue for fuel for those to the rest of the race. There's a handful of cars that took the wave around. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney towards the back that have some chase implications. They'll need a caution before the end of this race, so they'll have to come to pit road for fuel.
So other than them, fuel not an issue for anybody on the track.
It's going to come down to speed, and more importantly, if the caution does come out, do you pit or do you stay out? How aggressive can you be on pit road?
I'll look big picture for just a moment as we have a little over 50 laps to go in this race. Mark Truex Jr. is out front. He's been dominating at 5.5 tracks all year. He's been great. Now, at mile tracks, he's showing a lot of strength as well. When we look up to the chase, if we look to those final 10 races, there are 8 racetracks that are either a mile or mile and a half. Does that mean Martin Truex Jr. is maybe the favorite heading into the chase this year?
Well, I also think the thing that Martin has done a great job of, think about Kentucky. That's completely different than every other mile and a half. And they went there and they ran well. They ran well at Charlotte. They ran well at a lot of different heights of mile and a half. Everybody thinks that a mile and a half is a mile and a half. I promise you, they're all completely different in the way you drive them, the way you have to set the race cars up. And they have shown the ability to go and run well at every one of those types of racetracks. Well, we've seen that it's about when you get hot. The 78, they're very hot right now. They're running well, but they're going to have to run well in the chase. And this is the 78 and the 20's concern. Look at how many cautions we have here at New Hampshire. The last 6 races, very few yellows in the first half, even more in the second half. Look at September 2014. 13 yellows in the second half of this race. We've been mostly green flag racing today, but with 50 to go, these leaders, especially if you're the 78 and the 20, are looking for this thing to go green.
Once we start getting cautions, they seem to just breed more cautions, and then they're going to have to make some pit road decisions.
Martin Truex Jr. continuing to work by lap traffic. Martin, a 36-year-old out of Vienna, New Jersey, putting on a clinic once again at a different racetrack. He has been so good at virtually all the tracks we've been to this year.
And Rick, we talk about Martin Truex Jr. and whether or not they'll be good in the chase. Remember, this was the weakest racetrack according to Cole Byrne and his crew chief. They felt like they had to get better here, clearly leading and running up front. So they're a lot better than they've ever been here in New Hampshire. And also Indianapolis next week. They're one of the teams that tested there last week in Indianapolis. And everyone said the 78 car, the one to beat. As Cole told me, we have the mile and a half figured out. It's the other tracks that we need to get better at. And we felt like we took a step forward in Indianapolis. And clearly today, they've taken a step forward as well.
Yeah, this is a big step forward.
I think every driver has strengths and every driver has a weakness. And I think one of the strengths that Martin Truex has, watch as he enters turn 3. Look how high he stays. He stays against the wall a long time. See the 20 turn a little bit earlier? The 78 stays against the wall. It's inches. It's not 3 feet or 4 feet. It's 18 inches. But he stays against that wall a little longer and arcs the corner and gets to the corner a little later. And that helps his middle speed and exit speed. And I think Martin Truex does that as well as anybody. Second or time first is Jimmy Johnson. He has a big arc in corners too. But that is, in my opinion, gives Cole Byrne an advantage in how he can set the race car up.
About 985 laps led. Give it a second here, and it'll be 986. He's leading all drivers. Martin Truex Jr. has really been impressive this year.
He has, but he is not shaking this 20 of Matt Kenseth. We heard earlier Marty Snyder say how the 78 thought the car would get better in the long run, and perhaps it has, but it has not gotten much better than the 20. Matt Kenseth has just been hanging back there lurking. That is Matt Kenseth. That veteran, that wily veteran, he run all race in the middle of the pack working on his car. Now here, this is his best track position of the day. He's taking advantage of it with under 50 to go, putting pressure on our leader.
Steve, he started 18th and has driven his way to the front. When I talked to Jason Rackman this morning, I said, how far did you get in practice? He said, we gained a lot, we're close, we didn't have to rebuild it. And I think he kind of winked after he said that. He knew they had a good race car, and Matt's proving it out.
And go back to qualifying. They qualified 18. Remember when Matt got out of the car, he was talking to his crew chief on the wall, and they were laughing. You know, they were upbeat, they were laughing, they didn't have their heads down. You know, that's confidence. That's, hey, look, we qualified 40 today, but we still believe in each other. Making a big move here.
Here comes Matt Kenseth looking to the inside, trying to take the lead away from Martin Truex Jr. Going into turn number 1, going hard into turn number 1. Can he make the pass? Way up the racetrack they go. Martin Truex Jr.
Matt Kenseth just took the lead, unfortunately.
Earlier in the race, each drivers giving each other room, not now. Matt Kenseth drives in hard underneath the 78, slides up a half a groove.
I predicted him to win in the prediction show. I predicted that Matt Kenseth would win, but I don't want him to win.
To see if he can get back by. Remember, there is an association, an alliance between the two teams. Joe Gibbs Racing and the 20 of Matt Kenseth and the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. There's an alliance there. Even though Martin Truex Jr. is in a single-car team based in Denver, Colorado, they have an alliance and share information with the rest of Joe Gibbs Racing.
Only Friday through Saturday, only Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, when it comes time to drop the checker, it's every man for himself.
Let's talk strategy, as we are now under 43 to go, brought to you by Smithfield Foods.
Well, we're going to be talking about this track and how it tends to have cautions late. That'll come into not only the restarts, but under those late race cautions, what do you do? Do you pit or do you stay out? But if we don't have cautions, you're seeing it on your screen now, traffic. How will the leaders get through lap traffic? Matt Kenseth has made it in front of Martin Truex Jr. Can Matt Kenseth cleanly get through this traffic and not let the 78 back by, or right behind the 78 lurking? Kyle Busch, we've seen this 18 car be very good in the long runs today.
So working through the lap traffic, it's Matt Kenseth out in front now. Martin Truex Jr. now in a position of chasing. We go NASCAR nonstop.
This is my garage. These are my tools. This is my jam. That's my baby. This is my moment. And this is my victory lap. Advance Auto Parts.
Can you imagine what we'll find? We've helped end up killing us. That's the spirit, Bones.
Hold on to something!
Here's how it feels to have America's fastest LTE network. Here's how it feels to get 50% off most national carrier rates, too. So imagine how it feels to switch to Sprint and buy an iPhone 6S and get another one free when you add a second line. Plus, try us out for 30 days. If you're not satisfied, we'll refund your money.
500 degrees, 40 below, and protection for 15,000 miles. Mobile One. Energy lives here.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. Which one of these awards appeals most to you?
Top safety pick, mid-size car and SUV.
Most dependable means a lot to me.
A green car because I like fuel efficiency.
What if there was a car company
Caution
that received all
without,
of these awards?
One company, one award.
On a commercial, but
Chevy.
of course it's commercial. It's always, that's a
Chevrolet's
water
the most
bottle.
awarded car company of the
Remember last
2
year,
years.
there were a bunch of drivers throwing water bottles out. And you could say that's a fan, but one, there's no fans over here, and two, they have a super long straw on that water bottle.
Now, friend.
So,
You'll
somebody threw that out of the window. They have a super long straw so they can reach inside the helmet.
Number 20. Number 3.
So,
16. Here, no one's gonna know your name until you make them know it. Names are made here. The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Under caution here in New Hampshire in a development for the second place running car, Martin Truex Jr. He just told Colburn, I have no shifter in the car. He just told the team that for the first time moments ago. So they're going to hand him a vice grip, try and put it back together himself inside the race car. Big development for the second place man, Dave.
No such problem for the leader, Matt Jensen. This car is just a little loose at the start of the run. They'll go to the tires and the fuel, 2 on the right. As for Kyle Busch's teammate, way too loose at the start. They'll go for 2 tires as well, Gal.
Kevin Hunter said his Ford got looser as he ran it. It was right side tires only for the Ford, Marty.
Truex will come to a stop. They're going to
Kyle
right
Busch.
side zone it. They're going to push
Last
it
year
on
when they
here.
were so
They're
early.
not going to hand
But
him a
second,
vice grip. He's going to
second
do
was
his
good.
best again and leave in fourth gear.
Second
You
is
can
always
see
good.
him struggling to get off
Except
pit
for
road.
in the
It
race.
will make
Gotta
it
win.
out. Pit road,
Gotta win
but
the
have to do
race.
that in fourth gear. A tough task for Truex.
Very tough task, not only to get out of pit road, but for the restart coming up. We're going to see in just a moment.
Okay.
Great, my Mercury engines. You're not going to believe what happened. Superhero battle? Yeah. So the red guy beat my car, the blue guy, and the blue guy had a freeze ray. It was like...
We see that a lot this time of year.
Really? Don't worry. We cover superhero damage.
And save you money, too.
We're on a mission to save you money.
It's the question you get asked every night. And with Smithfield marinated fresh pork, Crumpwood is done. So you've got a no-hassle, flavor-filled answer that everyone's going to love. We use 100% premium cuts of fresh pork, slow marinated and seasoned just right, ready to be grilled, roasted, or sautéed any night of the week. So when dinner time comes, reach for delicious, easy-to-prepare Smithfield marinated fresh pork, because flavor hails from Smithfield.
Next week, NASCAR is on NBCSN at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Xfinity Series next Saturday at 3 p.m. Next Sunday, 2:30 Eastern for the Sprint Cup Series. Last year, it was Kyle Busch that swept both races. And the big story coming in potentially to Indianapolis next week would be Jeff Gordon. Would he end up being in the 88 next week if Dale Earnhardt Jr. still has concussion-like symptoms and is not able to race next year? It has already been said that Jeff Gordon would substitute in the 88. Quite a bit of experience at that racetrack. Denny Hamlin? Well, if you're going to try a little strategy to win a race, how about stay out?
That's an aggressive call. We talk about being aggressive with your pit strategies. There's not much more aggression than don't even come get new tires. But for the race, you know, a race win in their column already, win the Daytona 500. He was running 6th. You got to figure his only chance is to stay out and get track position. Now, I assume, though, that this 11 team and Mike Wheeler expected more teams to stay out behind him.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, also some issues with the 78 team. Seems like it's getting worse for him.
Well, he's led 123 laps today. It's been a terrific day for Martin Truex Jr. But not only does he not have a shifter in the car, when he left pit road with that clutch, he lost the clutch as well. Here's what they said on the radio.
Yeah, now I got no clutch. Just burn the clutch right now. Is it slipping or is it slow moving? It's not slipping. I just can't disengage it. So I've got no clutch and I've got no training. I'm direct drive.
If he's in full gear, he cannot restart right here very well. So everybody behind him has really got to be paying attention. He's going to try to lay back and get a run, but it's not going to be easy to do.
And they can't pass before they get to the finish
line. Oh, there's Truex.
And they're going to because he's slow. Green flag back in the air.
Truex.
33 laps to go. Drivers knew he was going to cause a little bit of an issue there. There's smoke now coming out from behind the 24 of Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott was right behind the 78 as the battle for the lead starts. Matt Kenseth looks to the inside of Denny Hamlin. Come on with those old tires.
Oh.
Finish line, but if the car in front of you is having mechanical issues, I don't know what you're supposed to do. You know, you got to get away from it.
And Kenseth still working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get Mike Denny.
Out of these two, I'd rather Hamlin win, but
that caution, trying to get the track position, and now trying to hold off Ben Kenseth. Up the racetrack, Denny Hamlin goes. Kenseth not able to keep on the bottom of the track and keep that track position. 31 laps to go. Is it enough time for Denny Hamlin to have the opportunity for those 2 tires that Matt Kenseth got to level off as far as speed? He's going to try to hold them off again.
Denny Hamlin's doing a really good job of using that second line. Matt's going to drive it in deep right here and try to slide down. He got it done.
Kenseth makes the pass on Denny Hamlin. Matt Kenseth, who hadn't led until very late in this race, now has led 8 laps. That allowed him to get 1 in the fall in 2015, most recent to win at this track. Denny Hamlin will try to hold off the 4 of Kevin Harvick now.
Kevin Harvick needs to be aggressive. If he wants any chance of running the 20 down, he cannot waste time in the 11. I expect to see a very aggressive move right down here in turn 1 by Kevin Harvick. Or just position him for the restart. You know, you're trying to position yourself for the restart, but you can start next to the leader rather than behind him. So,
into the wall goes Alex Bowman. He was running in the top 8. Looks like left rear tire.
Caution for Alex Bowman.
Left rear damage.
Oh, and Chase Elliott too. No.
Tire smoke just before that. The team was scrambling. They were ready to come down pit road just before.
Also, 24.
This is a very dangerous place to hit the wall.
Chase Elliott.
Because Adam Petty actually died back in 2000 after hitting the wall up there. Because it's just not a lot of banking. If you go up there real quickly, it's a hard impact. The banking can't slow you down.
Off from turn 4 down the front stretch. 24 is to his inside. You go down into turn 1, the 88 has a flat tire. He's up against the wall, and when he has a flat tire, out of screen goes the 24, who I think also had a flat left front tire.
And got into the wall as well, hard.
Yeah, we're back up here to get the 24 on the outside.
Hold on.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake, you're all alone now.
Chase Elliott up there too. Chase Elliott was blowing up. I mean, from the restart, he was blowing up.
For the 24, you think about, we keep talking about this chase. This is the 3rd race in a row that these guys are going to end up with a bad finish. They had this huge lead. They were high up in the chase grid, but those points are coming off quickly.
Coming into this race, 63 points. Chase Elliott was in front of the cutoff line. Now working hard just to get to pit road, Mike.
He's having to drift.
That's such a disappointing ending for the young Alex Bowman, looking for his first career Sprint Cup Series top 10. Damage all the way around that race car. Team did a nice job, though, pulling away some of the sheet metal from the tires, able to change all four.
Alex Bowman going back out on the track, and as you mentioned, a great run. Running in the top 10, he was running 8 when that tire went down.
Chase Elliott's restarted 8th, Rick, and got into some contact there, obviously. But for his first time here in a Sprint Cup car at New Hampshire, he's done a very credible job all day. But now, of course, as you mentioned, really good on points on the chase grid coming in, but doesn't want to lose this many.
Yeah, so much body damage. And again, the 24 was behind Martin Truex Jr. on the most recent restart. Let's take a look again at what took place. We know Martin Truex Jr. is stuck in 4th gear.
Right, so they approach the restart zone. The 78 can't go. The 24 tries to go, and he makes just a little contact to the back of the 78. It didn't look like a lot of contact, but from that point on, we saw some smoke come out of the 24 car.
And I think the 41 car actually gets into the side. Watch right here. See, right there, the 41 car. And the 41 car had no, sorry, the 14 car had no idea that he was going to turn left, because typically on a restart, you have to stay in line. And so you're not expecting the guy to turn left. But with Truex's problem, had he stayed in line, it would have been a big wreck. So Truex's problem, not being able to take off, caused a lot of problems behind him.
Yeah, and to be clear, NASCAR's rule is you must stay in line on the restart, but there is an exception to that rule if the car in front of you doesn't maintain speed, and that's what the 78 car is doing. As you see him drop back through the field, they don't expect the entire outside lane just to wait for the 78 to go. But it is never a good feeling when you're stuck behind a car with a problem, and the Martin Truex in the 78, you're going to have to try to attempt another restart. He's stuck in 4th gear.
And all the spotters know this is going on. They all saying, hey, 78's having trouble, but you can't plan for what's going to happen because you just don't know.
Still under caution. They're cleaning up the racetrack. We'll take a quick break and be back with restart.
Really?
And darling, darling,
Stand by me. Stand by me.
75 lyrics to share. Find a code for every moment.
Ram trucks are built to work, to play, tow, and haul. They're built to get the job done and go the distance. Ram trucks are built to be America's longest lasting pickups.
Get 0% APR for 60 months or $82.50 in total values on select 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab models in dealer stock.
Getting ready to restart. It'll be 24 laps to go. Hampshire.
Okay, I want you guys to say Hampshire right now. Isn't it very fun for you to say? Hampshire.
The wicked fast restart zone.
New Hampshire.
Great restart for Matt Kenseth. Not so good for Denny Hamlin.
Hampshire. Hampshire.
Kyle Busch able to get on the back bumper of Matt Kenseth up to second.
Hampshire.
A little bit of
New
smoke.
Hampshire.
Guys
Old
running as they go through.
Was there an Old
1 and
Hampshire?
2, and now 2 and
There had to be an Old
3 into
Hampshire.
turn
Oh,
3.
look at Kurt Busch.
41, and Kurt Busch has smoke coming out from underneath his wheel well.
What ails you, Kurt Busch? What ails you?
Rubbing for Kurt Busch as they go 3 wide into turn 1.
Hampshire.
Out in front, that gives him Kyle Busch. Tony Stewart has made his way up to third. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, the top 5. Martin Truex Jr. after his issues have fallen all the way back. Truex Jr. trying to hang on.
What ails you? Get to pit road.
The smoke out of Kurt Busch. Denny Hamlin trying to hold off Jamie McMurray. McMurray trying to take grip away from Hamlin. Joey Logano, New England native, working the low part of the racetrack.
You're hearing all these names. This is what happens in New Hampshire. These brake race cautions as the 1 gets into the left rear of the 11, moving them up the track a little bit. You have new players involved.
We had mentioned they pretty much the whole race, but now, right in the thick of it, we saw Denny Hamlin go back down the racetrack. Didn't appreciate a little bit of contact. He was going to get it back. Maybe a little bit of tire rub on the 11 as well now. Less than 21 laps to go. Kansas, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin.
There's clearly about to be something big that's going to happen, and oh, Kurt Busch is on the wall. Exactly as I say that. It's weird because I saw from the rear view. From the rear view cam.
He's going to try to make it to pit road here.
Yeah, this is exactly what Chase Elliott was doing, having to drift to get to pit road. Sure.
The restarts get crazy.
But seriously, was there an old Hampshire? There had to be an old Hampshire. Was there an old Jersey?
42 comes up the racetrack, squeezes 41,
old
way
Mexico?
down on, wasn't near the wall, and she was expected to be up by the wall, contact, and hopefully that leads to the tire rub, tire being cut, 41 in the wall.
In old
that's
England?
racing. The 41 was turning left to try to get underneath the one car. The 2 didn't expect to be there. They make contact, and then you see right here coming off from turn 2 down the backstretch.
These guys are just angry as hell at each other.
Actually, conveniently for the 41 of Kurt Busch, it happened on the back straightaway. And then you see right here in the left front of the 2.
Why is this on Braxton's Lawson's car?
And locked up.
Hampshire.
The 11 also on pit road.
Hampshire.
78's come to pit road this time. Kelly.
And the 11 also had a tire rub on the left side. So they're going to fix that while they're here. And Denny Hamlin, 4 fresh tire tires. Remember, they stayed out under the previous consequences that brought a lot of guys down that road, Marty.
Yeah, Brad Kozlowski said on the radio, I'm pretty beat up here, actually, but he said the toe on the car, meaning the steering wheel, is straight, that's fine, but that left front was locked up, as you mentioned, Rick, and a lot of left front damage. You have to push the left side of the car up to get the jack underneath the car. Martin Truex Jr. also coming down pit road. They're going to take 4 tires. The consideration here is they're so far back in the pack, maybe these 4 tires will help them a little bit. Again, car's still stuck in 4th gear, and no clutch for Martin Truex Jr.
So the guys will try to push it out of their pit stall.
My concern sitting right here is if you have no clutch, I'm not sure how the crew's going to push it off in 4th gear, sitting in gear.
But the only way you can do it, you can put it in neutral. They can push it off.
Probably
he's got no shifter. But they're putting vice grips in the car right now. That's what they were doing. They're giving him a shifter. They're pushing it off. So now he can get it in gear and get it moving. That's right. That's what they were doing. They were in there putting the shifter in or hooking vice grips to it so we can put it in gear.
How this entire complexion has changed. We have players we haven't seen all day long. Look back there. Row 2, Stewart Haas teammates, Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart had this to say on the radio.
But seriously, was there an old Hampshire? There had to be an old Hampshire.
A lot easier to reach the guy you trust up here too. That's what.
Mike. And you know, talking with Tony's crew chief, Mike Bugaravich, this morning.
So since Kyle Busch is in position to maybe win, I'll react to the last 15 laps for you. Maybe not 10 laps, because I'm going to be filming until about lap 15. I don't want to film the last 18 laps. So I'll do till 10 laps to go.
Throughout the afternoon, you can tell he's been relaxed, allowing Bugaravich to do his thing. He's in position to perhaps pull off the win.
And Rick, it's not just about the front row in this restart. We have Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch. But as you go back through, Stewart, Harvick, McMurray, Logano, Casey Payne, Kyle Larson, a whole new list of players for these last 18 laps.
And we're back underway.
Back
Not a good restart for Kyle Busch. God damn it.
17 laps to go. Kenseth with a great start, as did Kevin Harvick. Harvick trying to take second away from Kyle Busch.
No, he won't.
Which really spun the tires in the restart zone. Didn't get going. And again, we see Stroll got a car that should be turn 2.
Oh, there we go. Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. Contact was made. Caution once again.
These would be moments I would love, sitting right in this grandstands right there. Those are the moments I did love, sitting in those grandstands.
Yeah, whoever was underneath you there, that's what turned you up into the wall.
Restarts. We just can't say
it was a 19 of Carl Edwards that was involved in that.
New Hampshire restart.
Yeah, right?
This causes everybody to be really, really aggressive.
Yeah, you see the 19 and 31 make contact, which turns the 19 into the right rear of Casey Kane. He goes up the racetrack and catches the 42. These restarts are so crazy, Jeff. We're having a hard time going on the backstretch. It's a straightaway.
Straightaway, and guys going the wrong way, like Kyle Larson.
Thank you.
Happens quick. 31 and 19, contact made, then into the 5 into the 42, and the 42 sits in the grass.
I burped.
You see the 31. It all starts when the 31 catches the left rear of the 19 of Carl Edwards. He catches the left rear of Carl Edwards. It spins him to the left. He catches Casey Kane. Casey Kane goes up the racetrack. Who comes through clean? Of 31 of Ryan Newman.
By the way, before that pass around him, he was all the way back in the 21st. They stayed out. They stayed out. Did not pit. They caught the caution, and now he's running 7th.
Marty.
Guys, you can see the 78 back in once again. Crew member going inside the side window. They tried to take a pair of vice grips in last time, but the problem is the brake where the shifter is below the boot, so they couldn't access it really. And so Truex had enough clutch to lead last time. They're going to make one more attempt to get this vice grips on for Martin Truex Jr. so he can actually shift gears. But again, enough clutch left for him to lead pit road last time. It was unsuccessful this attempt when they made the last stop.
Let's listen in to Ryan Newman to radio.
I hit 19 there. I don't know what he was doing, but I hit him and knocked him into everybody there. So it was entirely an accident, but everything's fine.
You see the damage on the right front of the 31 where there was contact made.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw in the video. You know, I don't think the 31 meant to do it, but he definitely got into the 19.
No, and watching it, you know, I think it started actually a little bit ahead as we watch him, we come off turn 2. This is the initial restart. It's a great view. You see everybody going 3 wide, trying to force the issue, obviously. Coming off turn 2. Right there, the momentum got slowed down. Obviously, the incident is ahead of this, but the momentum got slowed down. They got loose leaving the corner.
See right here, he catches the 19 on the bumper, and then there's nothing they can do at that point. Chain reaction.
But Stewart and the 42, they were battling, and they both got free off the corner and kind of got slowed. Everybody slowed down behind them, and then they started running into each other. So it's just everybody going hard. You know, it's just racing. You have to race hard for position, and when you're racing this hard in this close a situation, you're going to have accidents. Like,
well, obviously a tough hit for Casey Kane. Huge chase implications. He was below the cutoff coming into today. He told us on Countdown that he needs to make sure he comes away with solid finishes. This is definitely going to hurt. They repaired the rear spoiler, trying to take as little time as possible on pit road. They cannot afford to lose a lap. Keith Broughton was adamant about that. They get him away, but the car is far from perfect.
Yeah, Mike, it was 2 cautions ago when quite a few drivers, 7 drivers, took the wave around to get back on the lead lap.
Okay, so 2 laps after the restart, I'm going to put the camera down, over there, you know, over there. But I'm going to film from here for the first 2 laps to restart.
Position to where they're having potentially a top 10, maybe even a top 5 finish today.
the best any of them was running was 19. That was the best any one of those cars you just named was running in 19th position. Now, they're 7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
7th and 5th.
Right, but,
7th,
you know, when the
5th,
caution
yeah,
comes out, you have
what
to
ails
take
you?
chances when you're a lap down, and if you catch the cautions right, it can be a big benefactor.
Kelly.
This could be a big points day for Jamie McMurray, who is very much on that chase. Bubble 16th coming into this race. They've been fighting a tight race car all day, but now it's really come in for Jamie. They've also been gaining.
What ails you?
Road had a fantastic one the last time down. He had only 4 top 10 finishes coming into this. Now he's looking for his second top 5 of the season, Dave.
And Greg Biffle up to 8th now, radioed into his crew chief Brian Patty. Man, if this keeps up, we'll end up with a top 5. Patty said, I told you something big was going to happen here at the end. They had brake problems all Friday, didn't get a chance to work on their handling. They worked on that all day Saturday. Thought they were halfway decent, but
See
really
the Nesson car that he has? That's for New England Sports Network. Which, if we did have, I could be watching the Red Sox games every day.
Martin and Logano, they get together off of 22. And that slowed all the momentum up. So now behind, you start running into each other. So ahead of the wreck, it actually started way ahead of the wreck. It ended up happening 3 or 4 rows back.
Well, Rick, with 12 to go, this restart should be way calmer. I mean, okay, wait a minute. This is going to
What ails you?
No. There's going to be another. Yes. All right. The intensity picks up.
So with 9 laps to go, I'll put my camera right there, and I'll react to the rest of it.
Once again, Kenson out front.
Kyle Busch is
running
leading
second.
contention
Kyle
possibly
Busch, Joey
wins.
Logano, Jamie McMurray, Tony Stewart, top 3 rows.
Okay, here we go.
Lane's had a tough time getting going on these restarts.
Kevin Harvick that couldn't get up to speed as quickly as Logano. So Logano gets up to second. Now Harvick dives way left.
What is Kyle Busch doing?
22, some tire smoke coming out from underneath the 22. And it was the 22 and the 14 that had some contact. Could that tire rub come into play with only 11 laps to go? Now 10 as they come to the front stretch.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'll just focus right here where I am.
Marty.
Yes, Rick, it's the same Joey Logano who said he was, quote, getting beaten everywhere on the racetrack earlier in the race. If you watch a battle a little further back,
Oh, so it's top
now in the
26.
second. And Todd Gordon told me this morning, we'll be good at the end of the race. That's when this car will come to life. I walked up to him a moment ago. He said, see what I tell you this morning? Here they are at the end of the race with a shot to
I want Stewart to win.
Todd Gordon's a pretty smart guy.
Well, he's proving it right now. He put an experimental setup in the car. It's currently running second. But how about third? Tony Stewart. We haven't talked much about him all day long. And here we are with 9 to go in the closing laps. And he catches the 22 of Joey Logano.
Closing in on Joey Logano. They both got to get by Matt Kenseth if they want the win and a lobster.
Tony Stewart, he's not going to be very patient with the 22. If he feels he has a better race car, he'll be very aggressive to get by the 22.
Steve, he'll be very aggressive, but he told his crew chief just before the restart, said, hey, we can be aggressive, but remember, we need to race these guys the rest of the year, too.
There's a give and take, right? There's respect that you have to have for your competitors, but when you give that respect, you expect to get it back. That's what Tony's talking about.
Biffle trying to stay in front of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Busch to the inside, can get by, a little bit loose with the 18. That opens the door for the one of Jamie McMurray. As well as the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Quite a few
Not
going
going
by
well for
Kyle
Kyle
Busch
Busch.
after he
He's
got
like
loose
in
in the
8th
turn.
place right now.
Who are all these guys
I don't want
racing
Kenseth to
all
win.
day? I mean, he's been in front of them all day. Now he's in a battle with them.
7 to go. Matt Kenseth about a half a second lead over Joey Logano. Take a look at this. I mentioned Kyle Busch getting loose. Contact there. And then sideways he went.
This is getting so heated. I'm not going to be surprised if, like, right after this race, we just go on pit road and set up like a wrestling match. Like, all the fans crowd around, all the pit crews and everybody just punching each other. All the drivers just punching each other. I would not be surprised if that just happens because everybody's pissed at everybody.
Right here, he tends to make a run. 14 got a little too high and they won't be able to do it that lap. But that's the weakness of the 22 at the moment.
Battle for second. Got 2 car leagues separating. Joey Logano and Tony Stewart. As we come up on 5 laps to go for Loudon. Kenseth out in front. Putting a little more distance between himself and Joey Logano. 7/10 of a second.
Matt Kenseth right now with 5 to go just wants to see 5 green flag laps. He doesn't want to see any more restarts.
And I think Biffle, McMurray, Newman, Stenhouse, Blaney, I think they all want 5 laps too. They don't want to caution. They're going to squeak out of here with decent finishes. They just want this thing to end.
A much better finish than they hope. They all put their mittens on. They got to race politely from here to the finish.
Oh, politely.
Big picture portion of the Jamie McMurray trying to get into the chase. Ryan Newman both in the top 10. 4 laps of racing to go. The only win in the 2016 season came at Dover. A mile racetrack. A high-bank mile racetrack, but a mile racetrack
If
nonetheless.
Matt Kenseth wins this race, I'm going to throw a fit.
Over a second between himself and Joey Logano. The gap still closing between the 14 and 22. Maybe a little bumping now. There's Tony Stewart all over the 22 of Joey Logano. The pass for second. Stewart has the inside line. Stewart takes over second.
There you go.
After missing a good portion of the beginning of the season, Tony Stewart had to get a medical waiver. If he was able to win,
Can we have like a caution right this instant?
for him to be eligible. Well, now, with
8th
win,
place.
on the road course out in Sonoma earlier this year.
Okay, white flag.
He is in the top 30 and
We're
looking
not white
strong
flag,
again as he runs second. Under 3 laps to go. Now down to 2. Kevin Harvick running fourth. Trying to chase down the 22 as well.
Okay, so next flag ends the race. Kind of got to like run out of gas or something, which is not going to happen.
Very eventful day for the 20 team. After a bad pit stop, relegated back a few spots. One more lap to go. He's led his 37th lap. Matt Kenseth with a 2-second lead over Tony Stewart.
I predicted him, but I don't want him to.
Kenseth won here last year in the fall. One of the chase races.
God damn it.
And now wants to go back-to-back.
That's all I gotta say, guys. Remember last time he wanted to just say God damn it the whole
on
time.
cruise control as he comes out of turn number 4. Kenseth will win again.
God damn it. That's all I have to think about that. That's all I have. That's all I have. And maybe this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that's all I gotta say about this.
That is his 38th win. Sprint Cup Series.
Sorry. Remember my positive attitude thing? That was going to have a positive attitude?
This moment presented by
Remember that?
Sunoco, fueling victories all season long. Dale Jr. not here. He made a special license. Matt Kenseth, Dale Jr. entered the Sprint Cup Series the same year. Ran for Rookie of the Year, side by side, together. Battle. They have battle on the racetrack, week in and week out. Matt Kenseth. Way back in 2000. And now Matt Kenseth celebrating another win in his career, this time in New Hampshire.
It's sports. I can yell at TV.
After the first stop, it was money. Thank you so much. We talked about the 20. He didn't have track position early, but we saw it early. 4 tires. He was one of the few cars that could drive up to the field, put himself in contention on the racetrack.
Kenseth becoming the 5th different driver to have at least 2 wins in 2016. And what that means is guys in the points department. Matt Kenseth winning. We'll hear from him next.
Your government trade union honors your family for the power of Rome. And made you a slave.
I deserve justice once I return.
Start the revolution to free us all.
Should have stayed away. You should have killed me.
This is the Ford F-150, the only pickup with a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body. Of all the full-size half-ton pickups, it's got the most towing, the best payload, and the highest gas mileage. Plus no body fronts. And guess what? This is the safest F-150 ever built. The only pickup to pull the government's 5-star safety rating and earn an IIHS top safety pick. This is the F-150, and Ford F-Series is the undisputed truck leader for 39 straight years.
Victory lane. A little bit easier of a drive the last 2 laps for Kenseth as he had a good-sized lead. But the battle for third, that one was impressive. Legato and Kevin Harvick coming out of turns 3 and 4.
That's a pretty cheater all Canadian roll tight in the middle corner. Kevin gives him a little shot, gets him up the racetrack. Close.
Look how close it was.
for 2. You tell me these guys aren't competitive? They both won races. They're both in the chase. It's for a point. 1 point. The point doesn't matter. It's bragging rights. They won.
Boo! Boo!
Victory for this man, Hampshire, from Cambridge, Wisconsin.
Boo! He can't even stand upright. He's so mean. What about that positive attitude thing that I was talking about? What happened to that?
Back in the pack. How pleased are you to be this victory lane? You're almost pleased to be a victory lane, but
well, I guess I'm glad that I'm not there. I guess I'm glad that I'm not there, honestly.
Thanks everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing. I said it a million times, the Lord shows us good opportunity over here. Great people I get to work with. Great sponsors, Dollar General, DeWalt. Of course, can't do it without Toyota, TRD, Gatorade, Interstate Batteries, Wiley Exercise. So just great team over there. Jason made great adjustments.
I'm pretty sure you're going to want this race without
I did a very good
Gatorade.
job qualifying. And
I'm pretty sure if Gatorade was not a thing, it'd still be a victory lane right now.
It's a fun day.
I
got blocked on pit road, and then had to have adjustments in order to be able to make passes, right? Whoa! You're
oh!
You're down!
John Cena!
That was my bad. I slid a little deep in the stall. I knew Clint was coming in there late, and that was my fault. So luckily, we had a good car we can make up for it.
What's that guy doing over there?
On your second win. It looks like the family is pretty pleased as well, Mike. Tony Stewart, the runner-up this afternoon.
The other way, is he like watching something that you should not be?
You worked on the race car throughout the day, and it seemed like it really paid off. Whatever adjustments your crew chief made overnight, it seemed like they worked.
Yeah, we had much better.
Okay, guys, so that's where I'm going to have to end it.
They'll get a really good job. I went off and went all
3 hours, 5 minutes. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Stay strong. Have a fantastic day today, and I will see you later. Thank you guys and girls for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more content. Also, if you want to see my daily life and bloopers for videos just like this video / outro, then go to my vlog channel at Sam Wilson Vlogs. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Vine to see more hella weird stuff. Links and names are in the description below. Also, enjoy your day and stay strong.